Okay, I clicked the button and we are now live. Welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo streaming community. This is an art night with Renee Little, and you are welcome to join us. I'll give you instructions on how to do that in a second. And I know that it's working because I am hearing my echo. So I need to figure out where to delete my my echo here. If this is working for you, then let me know in the chat room. And I'm going to just quit out of all these here. Okay, so if this is working for you, then please let us know in the chat room. This is a perfect time to tag somebody who loves tattoos and or might be interested in painting along. Let me get to my script. Thank you for bearing with me here a little bit. We are not professional actors, clearly. Okay, so this is Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live streams, to watch the replays, to share with each other, and ultimately to create better art and tattoos together. With your help, we've been beaming out nearly every day and are creating a tattoo network of high quality, awesome art and tattoos, kind of like what we would want to see on the TV. Actually, pretty soon we're going to be on the Roku. All I have to do is stay up an extra 3 hours one of these nights, and we'll have a Reinventing the Tattoo Roku channel. We are on the Apple TV. You can get us on YouTube through there. You might be watching us on Facebook or listening to the replay on the podcast, but you could always find the latest Reinventing the Tattoo live event schedule at www.reinventingthetattoo.com. We also have apps in both of the app stores. Do a search for Reinventing the Tattoo. As of this moment, we're currently going through a transition there, but the official app is Reinventing the Tattoo. So give it a download, and yeah, you could get all of the information on how to join all of these different live shows. Now, like I was saying, we have art jams, drawing groups, there's interviews, we have discussion panels, webinars. Seriously, you know, all of these different types of entertainment can be enjoyed on demand on the YouTube or the podcast, but also at Reinventing 24/7. So if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're wondering what's going to keep you up at night, or if you want to throw something on the front room of your tattoo shop or in the drawing room, Reinventing 24/7 has 5 channels going out at any given time, including the Spanish programming. So check it out, reinventing247.com. And if you are a tattooer, then scroll down to the bottom of that page. There's still a little bit of time left to get one of the soon-to-be famous Reinventing the Tattoo goodie bags. It includes some samples from some of our sponsors. Weekly staple shows that we have. That's right. We have shows that happen 5 days a week. We have live shows that are being hosted by amazing tattooers who care about helping you become better artists. It's amazing that the Reinventing drawing groups, and everybody is encouraged to join in, just like you're encouraged to join into this paint night. And I'm going to give you instructions on how to get to the Zoom link momentarily. Okay, Sundays at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard, all these times are Eastern Standard, is the first Reinventing drawing group of the week with Jason Weiser. Mondays at 9 o'clock in the morning are the early bird drawing groups with Kier, 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern. We had people beaming in from the West Coast. It's like 6 in the morning for them. Let's see, Mondays at 11 o'clock is the Tattoo Weekly. That's a variety tattoo show hosted by Lauren Gregory of Raw Pigments and Reinventing, Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network, and then me, I'm Gabe. Oh, nice meeting you. I'm Gabe from Tattoo Now, Computer Geek, and also from Reinventing. 9 o'clock at night, at 9 o'clock is the subscribers exclusive with Guy Aitchison, which is actually happening right after this paint night. And if you haven't joined the Reinventing curriculum, then you really should. If you're an apprentice or a tattooer, we meet every Monday night at 9 o'clock. You could actually get critiqued by Guy every Monday. It's out of control. People's artwork has been getting, well, really good. You can imagine after like over a year of weekly critiques and exercises. It's kind of like going to the dojo or doing, athletic exercises with a badass coach, again, once a week. If you're a tattooer, you should be doing it. Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, there's an open Reinventing drawing group with Ricardo Sturvanant. Wednesdays at 12 noon is the Tattoo Now show, where instead of me hopping into the background, I actually do some interviewing and even more talking, if you can believe that. Thursdays at 10 a.m. is a subscribers exercise with Kier. This is the fundamentals, and all of the apprentices are encouraged. If you're feeling a little sheepish about joining right in with a guy right out of the get-go, you could always join the Thursdays with Kier. Then Thursdays at 12 noon, we have the Tattoo Collecting Podcast. A lot of these shows have been going on weekly for over a year now, which is pretty amazing. And we can't thank all of the people that are watching, people that are tuning in, and the hosts enough. Okay. Upcoming special events. The one we have next is pretty awesome, and Renee will be there, is Reinventing Live. Let me share my screen so we could show you what's going on. I hope this is working. I'm not actually able to check because I was having that echo panic and I turned off everything in the background, but I don't know. Let us know if this is working for you. Okay, so we have here reinventingthetattoo.com/live is the URL here. And it's February 5th and the 6th, live at Red Tree Tattoo in True Tubes. This is Derb's amazing new kind of venue warehouse in Columbus, Ohio. But as it says here, we are streaming out worldwide. We've been doing hybrid events before they were even called hybrid events. Sponsored in part by the usual suspects, but also Ink Shop Guard, an insurance company that is specializing in tattoo shops. They do other things too, but they actually do have a tattoo shop program. Let's check out this lineup here. It's pretty out of control. So Guy Aitchison will be beaming in. Bob Tyrell will be there in person doing a full seminar, teaching a skull. We call it Tattooing a Skull from Start to Last Call. I made that one up. I thought that was clever. Let's see, Nick Baxter is going to be beaming in from Austin, Texas. He'll be teaching an advanced layering class. So if you do your tattoos in layers, then he will have all sorts of insights for you. Jesse Smith will be teaching his Calm in the Chaos. He's tattooing for a day. Jillian Marie is going to be beaming in and doing Q&A. If you haven't checked out her work, it's fucking awesome. And yeah, you want to see how she does her tattoos. Renee Little is going to be there. Thank you, Renee. She'll tell us a little bit more about what she's got going on. I think she's tattooing big ass back piece for 2 days. They're going to start it off and then painting. And let's see, Conan Lee's got an organized artist seminar. So if you're trying to figure out how to balance your time and you have, all these projects, Conan is a tattooer. He's a studio owner. He's a tech entrepreneur. He creates the tattoo release form app, and he's got a family. He's got kids. So yeah, he's also got it down. I remember he was telling me, probably 5 years ago, how he was automating all of his systems for his artists. I owned a tattoo shop at the time, and I was like, I have an awesome support team that does all this shit. Our artists don't even need to bother with that. Of course, 5 years later now, I'm like, hey, can you teach everybody how to do that automated stuff? Anyways, Tony Urbanek, a coil tattoo machine builder. He's got a great course up on Reinventing. You could actually build a tattoo machine with hand tools. It was amazing to watch. It was 8 seminars, eight weeks in a row. Nick Mitchell is doing portraits. Fawn Baker from the Tattoo Collecting Podcast is going to be doing podcasting and all sorts of teching, maybe even some tattooing. Haley Adams will be beaming in one day with her tattoo from San Francisco, and then joining our podcasting panel the next day. Dur Morrison, who's the owner of this whole crazy venue, he'll be there doing at the end. We've got a True Tubes and Red Tree tour walkthrough. And if you're a tattooer and you want to get an insight on what it might be like to catch one of these badass shops, he's always hiring. I don't know if he's always hiring, but he's currently hiring. Anyways, what else we got? Hunter Spanks is going to be there doing traditional tattoos all weekend long, yeah, Saturday and Sunday, as well as drawing flash and stuff. If you're interested in doing some old school flash drawing, he'll be doing some one-on-one lessons. Jason Leeser, who you see streaming on the Sundays, will be there helping us lead up the Reinventing drawing groups. And then I will be there probably from the far end of the parking lot outside, freezing cold, because I haven't caught the COVID yet and I'm not about to start now, but I will be there making sure everything runs fantastically smooth. If you are interested in joining this stream, or actually really any of the streams that you can join in, if you go to reinventingthetattoo.com, up here you see the watch link, and click on upcoming events, and it's going to scoot you right down here to our event schedule, where we have all of our upcoming events. And if you click on the Google Calendar link here, then you'll never miss any of these events. The Zoom link can be found right here, Paint Night with Renee Little, more details. and you'll see, actually this description is pretty light, but we have artists zoom in. You click on this link, you'll be zooming into joining us. If I click on this link, then it'll be doing some serious inception-y stuff, and we're not going to do that. Cool. Let me get back to my script. I got a couple more sponsors to plug, and then we'll be good to go to start. Okay, a few ways to support the show. We have real world events, as I was saying, February 5th and 6th at Red Tree, reinventingthetattoo.com/live. Other real world events are April 11th to the 14th. Inspiring.tours is the website. It's not a .com, it's a .tours. First one's in New Hampshire with Nick Baxter and Sean Barber. It's sold out within 48 hours. Actually, that's not quite true. It was like 50 hours. But like I said, less than 3 days, it's sold out. Go to inspiring.tours to get the first word on some of these future events. I think we're going to try to do New Mexico, and we had one planned for Italy at one point. Anyways, inspiring.tours, May 20th to the 22nd, Hill City, Columbus, Ohio, hillcity.com. July 29th to the 31st is the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational with Tony Urbanik, actually, is the one that's producing that show. And then October 21st to the 23rd is the Richmond Tattoo Convention. I think we're punting Paradise maybe for a year. Don't necessarily want to compete head to head with lots of other people. It's a crazy time to run events, and we're pretty excited to do Paradise again. But well, like I said, let's October is a little bit up in the air. My guess is that we'll all be down in Richmond, Virginia. Okay, so other sponsors. Well, of course, Reinventing the Tattoo and Guy Aitchison. Can't say it enough. www.reinventingthetattoo.com for all of your professional development needs. Raw Pigments, rawpigments.co is a company that's tapping right into the raw pigments out in California. If you don't want to talk about them, you actually want to try them out. Reinventing247.com. Scroll down, fill out your studio address, and then we will be shipping you that sample pack. It's got raw pigments. It also has Cheyenne cartridges. D-Lyze Pro, known as Dermalyze Worldwide, is a healing wrap. So if you want to protect your art, you want to check out Dermalyze or D-Lyze Pro in the United States. Yeah, if you're using saran wrap, just, that stuff's it's literally not breathable. It's designed not to breathe. Whereas Dermalyze, D-Lyze Pro is designed specifically to protect the tattoo in the wound, but to actually breathe, so the oxygen can get in there, or the rest of the air, whatever the nutrients in the air that the skin uses to heal can still get to it. Tattoo Now, I am a computer geek for tattooers since the mid-90s, and I have some serious, really cool computer shit going on. So now is a great time to hop on as a client if you're interested in CRMs, interactive videos. I'm serious. I've got some really cool stuff going on. And then, not last but not least, actually first, as far as Reinventing is concerned, Guy Aitchison, guyaitchison.com, hyperspacestudios.com. Hyperspace is his studio with his wife, Michelle Wortman. Awesome, tremendous forces in the tattoo world, and this whole Reinventing platform universe exists because of Guy. And yeah, he's taught countless tattooers how to teach each other to be inspired. And yeah, he basically created he was part of the new school movement, whatever, 30 years ago, when new school actually meant bio and anything that wasn't traditional. It's kind of funny. Okay, I'm going to get ready to hop in the background here. The last thing I want to say is, please leave your positive reviews in the channels that you're watching. That could be the YouTube or the Zoom or whatever. That's not to say that we don't like constructive criticism. We love it. Please just send that to us directly. Management@reinventingthetattoo.com. If you're interested in sponsoring the events, any real world events, sponsoring these virtual ones, or like I said, or bitch me out for whatever it is that you want to complain about, there you go. It does look like we have some people joining us already. Megan Elferinik, I'm not going to pronounce that name. You are currently muted, and we can't see you, but I just asked you to unmute and ask to see. There you are. Awesome. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, I'm going to, well, like I said, I'm hopping in the background here to kind of pass off the hosting duties to Renee. And yeah, Megan, I don't know if you've hopped on these before, but it's definitely a tradition to well, to introduce yourself and let us know what you got going on.
I am not, I am new. This is my first time. I'm actually
Awesome.
Renee's apprentice. So,
Awesome.
yeah, so I'm here just to partake and I'm excited.
Sweet. I like your shirt. Queen
Thank
is best band in the universe.
I agree.
Awesome. Cool. Your camera's pointed right. Do you have, are you working on some artwork tonight or?
I haven't started anything yet. I'm kind of just going with the flow.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, like I said, now I'm actually going to officially hand off the hosting duties to Renee. I'll be in the background chatting, but Renee, you want to unmute yourself?
Oh. Hello.
Haha, perfect. Awesome.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Hey Megan, start drawing some flash. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah. And what you can do is put the camera, and so we can all kind of see what each other are doing, and we can all yeah. There we go. It's all
Sorry,
about
I'm
the
on my laptop.
Oh, I mean that actually looks really good.
Okay,
that.
cool.
Yeah. Okay, does that look good? That looks good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's perfect actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. So Megan, Megan's very, very new, and bless her, bless her heart. She's getting me right after my COVID, my sweet COVID vacay, as we've all took at this point, except for Gabe. So I didn't get a whole chance to really explain to her the whole process of this necessarily. She's been really at it at learning her bloodborne pathogens and CPR and all of her qualifications, and also just like how to function in the shop safely. So that's where she's at in her apprenticeship right now and doing flash pieces as well. So I'm like, oh, I know you have flash work you got to work on.
Awesome.
This is perfect, Megan. So drawing night is, I kind of, it's to promote doing art. And sometimes, you need a buddy, you need a pal to kind of get your steam, cooking and your wheels rolling. I know I do. Sometimes I need like the little extra push sometimes to challenge myself. Like I'll always paint, of course, by my own, but to be well challenged, I think is sometimes hard when you're doing it by yourself. So back in the old day, we used to all get together and paint or draw, just work on our tattoo assignments that we need to, finish for the week, and just, chit chat, shoot the shit, catch up, talk about what we need to talk about. Because I mean, most tattooers these days, we get to hang out with our clients day in and day out. And yes, we have the common bonding of that we are people, but artists, I think, are a whole different species. And when we get together, it's like it's very heartwarming to find, excuse me, like kinds and like minds. And I was gonna say, Gabe, you're absolutely right. I never really always thought about it, but I never really put thought to words. Like, yeah, what Guy has done is totally just brought us, like, he promotes people promoting, and it's a beautiful cycle. And Megan, I was talking to you about tattoo history. I'm teaching her about Philadelphia Eddie right now.
Awesome.
It's like we have to carry.
Did you send her the podcast?
Oh no, I gave her volume 1 of his book series.
His
and I have
book.
all.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I have all of his books. So I'm like, this is the first one.
Awesome. There's a podcast where he reads it. I don't know if he's reading the book, but there's a podcast that's like 2 or 3 seasons long where he's like, it's him telling his stories.
I heard of that, and I kind of, I definitely need to listen. She needs to listen to it because I did a little impersonation of him. And especially with my COVID voice, it was kind of the closest I've ever gotten in my life. They're like, darling, hi, how you doing?
Yeah, Megan, have you ever heard Philadelphia Eddie's voice?
No.
Okay. We'll find it.
We'll find it. And just, I'm on it. Good. It's amazing. And he was just such an infamous type figure in our community. And so she's going to learn about all the relics, as I call them, the wizards. Because that's just, we need to pass it on. We need to promote our culture and what we've learned, and hope that people can learn things even from that. So they take what they can. But his voice, let's not get too distracted. His voice is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tells a story in its own, and it's so identifiable. Like you can hear him across any room. You can hear him. I heard him. Like I was lucky enough to get rather close with Eddie before he died, like a couple years before he died, and because we were both flying in from Florida to Minnesota, and I heard him from midway through the airplane, just bitching at some stewardess. Oh my God, like he was so dissatisfied with them and just so pissed off that I went up and I grabbed him in his wheelchair and I looked at the stewardess. I'm like, ladies, I have him. It's fine. I'll take him. And they're like, thank you. And I was like, hey, I'm friends with Troy. We're going to the same place. I got you. And he's like, ah, thank God. He's fucking idiots. And I was like, so it was snowed in though. Like we couldn't get a taxi. We couldn't do anything from the airport. So I ended up spending like 10 hours with Eddie at the airport.
Oh, amazing.
Amazing. And so I just kept getting them like warm coffee and stuff like that. And he just told me stories and it was awesome.
So I have the outtakes from the Hori Smoku movie, Sailor Jerry's the Sailor Jerry movie. I'll just play like 2 or 3 minutes because this is absolutely necessary if there's an apprentice type who hasn't experienced it. Let me know if you could hear.
I had a place directly across the street from me, and I come home late one night drinking, and they were doing a little construction on the block, and there was bricks around, laying all around in the street and everywhere. This was Skid Row, and there was a drunk sleeping in my doorway. So I step into my doorway with my key to open the door, and this drunk is there. And I look down, there's a couple of bricks there. So I pick them up, and I look across the street, and there's he just had a new neon sign put in his window, and it was blinking, open, open, open. So I took this fucking brick, and I sailed it, double header. Got the window, got the neon sign, and got whatever was behind that. Boom. I look, and there's a police car, and the siren goes on, the lights go on. So I step back into the doorway, still with the other brick in my hand. I look down at the drunken bum sleeping there in the doorway. I put the brick on his lap, and I go into the shop, close the door, and lock it. Here come the cop. I hear him rattling, shaking his old drunk up, and says, okay, you're coming to jail. And he took the poor old guy and my brick, my ammunition. God damn it, Jesus.
God damn it. That's such an East Coast thing. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's got the story where he ended up over in Hawaii. I don't know. Obviously, you know, he's got stories galore. But anyways,
yeah. He's got stories like he's got children. He's got a lot.
Actually, real quick, I am going to screen share before I hop away again. This is the Crazy Philadelphia Eddie podcast link. You can see it here. If you do a search for what is it, the Life and Times of Crazy Philadelphia Eddie. Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here looking at my tape recorder.
Oh my God, that recording.
Oh, it's
brutal.
Unbelievable. So there we go, everybody. Philadelphia Eddie. You made your night now.
You can hear the history in his voice.
Yes.
You know, I imagine that's how dragons sound. You know, they're just old and wise, full of fire. But I was telling Megan like how important he was and to what conventions are today, you know, and just his legacy. So if people don't know who Philadelphia Eddie is, you really, really need to look it up, especially if you're a tatter, if you love traditional tattoos, if you love like the Philly atmosphere and just like, we just want to hear some crazy, crazy stories. He has lived an insane life. Like, I kind of like, to be honest, I kind of like Eddie's stories more than I like Lyle Tuttle's stories. Because, like, they're just so raw and so brutal that I feel like I always kind of like, you know, like got it a little bit more because, like, our upbringing was a little similar. And gosh, yeah, I don't know. He was definitely a cool grandpa to my generation for sure. And I'm glad that he was, he got to be my booth neighbor for many, many years. Sweet old man, crazy young man, sweet old man. But
Awesome.
yes.
We have a series. It's called Bridging the Gap. And,
yeah.
maybe you might be able to throw some of your apprentice types into the fray. But the gist is to have. Well, right now it's Kyle, so he's not even an apprentice. He's like an apprentice hopeful, and he's interviewing, Good Time Charlie and Gary Barba and like a lot of people with a lot of experience. I don't want to say like the old people, but but it's like
around.
Literally they're here. So we want to have all of the people that are complaining, the new people, the new kids don't know who anybody is anymore. We're actively setting them up with interviews with should be
good.
talking to. It's awesome.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I mean, there was a point, I remember, really close to Eddie's death that he knew that no one really knew who he was. There's so like, but they always like had him at the Philly show, which is his show, and it's the largest show. So there's a bunch of people everywhere, and no one would know who he was. And he knew it, but he was like, "This is why people die." But I think it is really special that like so many people do take interest in these very particular artists, because they do a lot for the arts. Like tattooers are still artists, and if we didn't have the tattoo conventions be what they were, we wouldn't have had the tattoo movement that we've had in the last like 10 to 20, 20, 30 years. So I think that stuff is still very important, even though I know I'm a little bit of a younger generation, I guess, still, maybe. It'll be 16 years this February. Woo.
That's almost 20.
Yeah, that's almost 20, right? Yeah. We're just rounding. But I still feel like a baby, because we're just getting healthier, Gabe. We're never going to die now. We're all going to just
I have a feeling you might be in the last generation before, I have the sinking feeling that I'm going to be like reading about the genetic amazingness, like on my deathbed, thinking to myself, damn, man, of all the generations, I missed it by like fucking 20 years.
Oh, yeah, I know. Like, it really is. I mean, if you got a lot of money, you could do it now. But yeah, it'll just get more and more cheaper. And yeah, but I like that. I think we're like the pure generation. We remember before internet. And like how to navigate without GPS. And, it's like we're like the real old salty.
Yeah, I was, let's see. So I was definitely on the internet like as soon as I could, but it was early 90s, like in 88, 88, 89. I was on the university internets. I'm a computer geek, so like as soon as I could plug in, I was plugged in for sure. But
it took me a long time.
Yeah, but it's crazy these days. Like I used to charge $20,000 or $30,000 to program touchscreen kiosks, and now everyone has one in their pocket. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, and it just becomes more user friendly, I think, like as time goes on.
So I have a question. Like, how do you pick up apprentices, or so is Megan an official apprentice, an apprentice wannabe, somebody that has just switched over? Yeah, let's hear about that story a little bit.
I'll let Megan tell her story, and then I'll back it up. Megan, how was it being selected?
A privilege. A privilege. Yeah, I mean, I feel, I told Renee, I'm a big believer in like the universe, and I don't know, maybe it was just the timing and everything kind of worked out to be really good, but it was the last shop I was going to walk into that day, and I went to another shop previously that led me to Renee, and they suggested her, and I went over there, and she and I met a couple times and it worked out, but it just really kind of felt like a really good fit, in my opinion. And I felt like I got really lucky landing where I was at, because I knew in my mind, just from kind of listening to some podcasts before going in there, that I kind of was under the impression that I was, I got the best possible scenario out of it all, in my opinion.
Oh, yay. Thanks. Yeah, no, I think so too. And Oklahoma City is like transforming quite nicely as far as our tattoo scene going. Like Gabe, you've heard me talk about the Oklahoma scene for quite some time now since I've been here and opening up the studio. And there's like just like a new I don't know what to call it, like just a new wave of thought, a new wave of people, and like in before, like no one talked to one another, and the shop that referred her are like, we call each other like the sister shops, and it's Sacred Soul down the street, and we're buddies, like we're all buddies, and we're looking out for each other, and like we're not going to let anything bad happen to our new youth that is young and sprightly, and they don't need to be like, the old school torture apprenticeship. They're going to work hard. But there's a lot of people that still kind of abuse the apprenticeships here for just the free labor, and like they don't learn anything. And so I kind of actually sworn off apprentices for a while, to be honest. And I told Megan that I was like, I'm tired. I'm brutally tired. Because COVID's been wild, and people have tried their best to like stay with it, stay strong and work hard. And like, it's hard to uplift yourself. And I know I'm grossly positive most of the time, annoyingly so. But it's a lot of the apprentices that I've had, huh? Yeah, no, you don't think so?
If you're alive, it's worth being positive.
That's what I thought. Yeah, like I've made it, man. We're alive. Like I could have died so many times, and I didn't. So that's cool.
Every day you wake up and don't read about yourself in the obituaries, a fan-fucking-tastic day.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah, because I mean, what could they do? Kill me, and that would be the worst case scenario. So everything else is not that bad. So I don't know, Megan was very, I look for a couple different things, and it's being decisive. It's kind of understanding, like how to read a room, basically. She's worldly. She comes from out of state, and, your parents are foreign, which is, it gives her a little extra edge of just of knowing about different cultures and experiences and etiquettes. It kind of helps broaden her mind to know that, she could be in any scenario, and she needs to pick up on how that scenario is and act, or, it could be offensive or something like that. So for me, being a traveling tattooer, that's actually like a core thing that I find very important. And I was telling her about if she does get to meet a wizard, per se, it's to be mindful, when you're talking to them, because I have had these wonderful scenarios, and I've learned so much from these people. And I've really tried to calculate, like, how much knowledge do I have? How many stories have I heard, And I'm like thinking about, like, man, it's like hundreds of years of knowledge, that because I just listen to people that have been doing it longer than I have, and that know more than I have, or not, but everyone has something to offer. And I just see all that as like, well, knowledge is power. So to be mindful, to be open, to be kind, to be considerate, all of those things will actually help in the long run, like build her career. So I actually saw that she just had that in her. So as an
Those things that you just
apprentice,
said, were they like antithetical to the qualities that people were looking for 20 years ago? Yeah, isn't it amazing?
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, I didn't know what people were looking for. I don't know what God, I hate to think what my guys were looking for in apprentice. I was on time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did everything they said without like much fight. Like, I don't know, I was on time. I took care of them like they were little babies. Like, yeah, that was not the same. It's so different now, that I don't think, like, I do believe in a traditional apprenticeship. They need to work hard, because I mean, the career, the lifestyle is hard. It's not easy, it's fun when you make it fun. But you got to have a certain kind of spirit about you to not only be a good artist, but keep your ethics in line. And right now we're in a war on ethics, you know, with the cancel movement and just how, I mean, we're still figuring out, like some tatters are still figuring out how to treat their clients. Let's just say that.
You know, like, because I'm doing like the interviews with the old timers and stuff, right? I mean, and I'm wicked interested in hearing, like, you know, your perspective on it. Like, you know, clearly 30 years ago when it was, you know, majority biker crazy, like some of those guys still exist. And so it's also interesting, like, you know, to hear somebody like Harry or Shanghai Kate talk about, you know, what happened, but also like, you know, they're still friends with those dudes, right? So it's like there's an acknowledgement of how fucked up it was, but like there's forgiveness, or and I don't know if there's like, or at least, you know, they're able to move on, right? Like, and I guess some of the, like, and we want to leave that shit behind, but like,
we want to learn from it.
But you want to learn from it. Like, and again, Philadelphia Eddie might be a great example, or Irving Lai, like they were not like,
they're not good
21st
guys.
Century. They were good guys, but like, like with fucked up shit, you know. And I guess I don't know. It's just interesting to see how.
Yeah, no, and I hate to interrupt. I'm like, but I know this answer because I literally had a conversation about this with someone the other day. But no, it is. It's like, what do you do with these gentlemen that we have worked with? And like Kate, oh my God, Kate has literally, like, yeah, she's gone around and pointed to, you know, everyone that was just not the most good person to be around, you know, and she's told me so much. And I think like her and I really bonded over that, just that we are kind of like in these weird generations of like, we have to accept the fact as like, let's say just as women, that there's a lot of men that are just now realizing that we are people. And they're not bad people necessarily, but they just don't know any different. And if they're learning, and if they're growing, and if they're supporting the growth and the learning of more people, like, of course I want someone to help my cause being a human with rights, you know, like, of course I'm gonna want that, you know, but I have to also, like, there's a lot of people that I've had to explain why I want that and why that's important to me, and explain why this is an issue. And because, so since the fact that I have to explain it, I realize that people really just don't know, you know, like, if I didn't know, if I wasn't educated enough to know about space, right, I would just think that the stars were just like little blinking lights in the sky. I wouldn't understand that there were balls of gases and planets, right? Like, there's a bigger picture, and if you're not told it, you're not shown it, you're not shown proof, you don't know about it. So, you know, I also, 16 years ago, I learned how to observe a lot of horrible things, and quietly talk to those boys alone and describe to them why that's not okay, and try to do my part, because there was no movement, there was no voice, there was no, if I made a stink about it, then I literally would not be able to tattoo. And because that was the threat. It was, well, if you're going to say anything about this, we'll just ruin your career. And as a poor little punk rock girl that's got nothing else going for her, you know, I'm going to do everything I can to keep in the pack that I'm in. And I feel like Kate had to do that as well. Like, we just had to do what we had to do, and we had to just deal with it. And we ate so much shit, but now, you know, thank God that we just kind of like kept up doing what we kept, because I had those quiet conversations aside, because I did nip it in the bud when I did, because I burned the bridges I wanted to burn, and I preserved and rebuilt the bridges I wanted to keep, you know. I have guy friends that I've had for well over 16 years now, and they're incredible people, you know. And I got tattooed by my buddy Travis Brown in South Florida, and we're talking about a couple different projects, and I have a couple tattoos on me that are done by, you know, unsavory people, and they let me know that by, you know, session 2 or session 3, you know. Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay, this is weird. Okay. So he's like, he actually said it. He was like, well, you're an old school broad, like, of course you're not making a big, because I told him, I don't want to make a stink about it. I feel like karma's going to take care of itself, like, he's like, yeah, he's like, you're bred to think that way, he like said it. And I was like, oh shit, dude, I am, what the fuck, but he himself, like, he had to leave his company that had, a bunch of tattooers involved, because one tattooer was, aiding and abetting a predator. And he just said, fuck it, I'm out, I'm done, and he had the courage to do that. He had the support to do that. And that's a hard thing to do, So I think that, I don't know what those interviews, I mean, I actually like was shunned because I wanted to talk to Carrie Barbara about that as well. And I could not, like, everyone, like, I told one person that's what I wanted to ask, and they were like, oh, hell no, you're not. And I'm like, wow, that's a real question. Like, they deleted my, it wasn't like a graphic question, but they deleted my question off of the messaging board. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I'm very used to being muted. I'm very used to, like, Renee,
she'll
shut
be
up.
she'll be on the show, I think February 3rd.
Oh, yay!
So if you want a chance to ask the question, we'd be happy to give you the platform to.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Because she's an amazing artist, and I did get a chance to have like a portfolio review with her. I saw her at Explorers,
Awesome.
Not the women's conference, but the one before. And she was just awesome. She was like the one person I really, really wanted to get like critiqued from. I think we tattoo really similar, and she said so too. So I was like, yeah. And she's just such a good, strong, stoic spirit. Like, I see that as really, really honorable, and I understand as the fact, like, I'm one of them. Like, we had to become stoic. Basically, we had to become like these creatures that could just, I see anything and just be like, yep, not stressing about it. I'm going to take care of it, but I'm not stressing about it. I know I always tell people, like, yeah, there could be a fucking T-Rex coming down the street, and I'll just be like, yep, everyone in the back room, single file, calm and calm. All right, yep, we know what to do.
Panicking never really helps.
It never fixes anything, really. I was panicking a little bit setting up for this today, and Megan got to see that. And I was like, this is the only time I really panic, because it's not tattooing.
He was still very calm.
Oh, okay. I felt like I was like, whoa, I was panicky.
He handles pressure very well.
Thanks. Yeah, you've seen it a couple times now. So cool. Thanks. I tried to be an even keeled little Aries. But you have to be, in the beginning, everyone was watching us as ladies, every fucking move we made, someone was watching us, just waiting to not critique it, but to demolish it.
Too tough, not tough enough.
Yeah, not tough enough. Oh, why are you walking like that? Like, what do you think? God, one time I worked at a shop and someone literally told me, you walk like you own the place. And I'm like, no, I just walk like that. Like, I have bad hips, I have strong calves. I don't know what to tell you. Like, just walk.
Someday I'm gonna own this fucking place.
Yeah, someday, because I'm gonna fucking own this place. My shop is much nicer than that one, so yes. But yeah, I don't know. You have to stay stoic. It's almost like the Victorian era, where like, oh, don't let them see you have emotions, because that can show weakness.
Now, is that change? Is that changing?
No. I mean, it's gotten better, I'd say. I think, there's people like my friend Robbie Ripple, who's like literally screaming at people to be open and feel their hearts for the first time, and I
know he tries to make me feel emotions, and every once in a while I do.
Yeah, every now and again he will break you. You will cry with Robbie. And you know what? I have cried with Robbie multiple times, because he's actually one of my friends, out of the whole, like, I would definitely, if I got married for some reason or something, I would be like, oh, well, Robbie's definitely gonna come,
Awesome.
He better be at my funeral. He better be, yeah, like if I'm having a birthday, that's huge. Oh, he's coming. But that's so rare. It's just so freaking rare to meet someone that's secure enough to do that, you know? So good for you, Gabe. You know, you're really opening up.
Hey, I'm not secure enough to cry. Fuck that. No. Even though
Well,
I
you
have a granite heart when I leave my daughter at college,
oh,
all of a sudden
yes.
I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to go.
I think I talked to you when you were doing it and you were so sad.
Oh, it's like one of the few times where sometimes I'll text like 3 people and I'm just like, fucking hold on to your kid. They're going to be gone soon. That's fucking, it is actually 100% crazy. But
oh, yeah, that's true though. It's freaking true. But you
got
appreciate
tattooed by Thea Duskin tattooed her not too long ago.
That's awesome. That girl's so cool. I love Thea.
She's fucking great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I watched
Another
her
person
interview
that's
with
got
Jake too.
real good stories and real, like Buffalo's like not a gritty town, but it's like it's a real town. Like shit, shit goes down.
Oh, shit happens. Oh
and,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, and tattoo shops just like attract it. You know, like we're a pretty nice shop that's like off the beaten. We're right downtown, but yet it doesn't look like a place. Like it doesn't look like a street shop by any means. It looks like a evil lawyer's office or something. The lights. Yeah, like. But like,
so you mean a lawyer's office?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, wait, that's redundant, isn't it? But one time I had this homeless troop come in and they were like, where are your magazines? And it was in the middle of COVID. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, please keep your mask on. And they're like, well, we can't even like sit and just read magazines. I'm like, no, what? Like,
not now.
Why? Not now? Like, why did you think this is? No, leave. Do you have an appointment? No.
You're about a year late. If you come back in a year, we'd be happy to hang.
Yeah, for real. Like, yeah, you can just lounge. We don't mind. But no, it's freaking COVID. Are you crazy? So I don't know. Tattoo shops have always, in my career, been. I mean, they always attracted chaos. Always, you know. Like, I remember one time I left to go like see my sister or something. I came back. I was like, anything cool happened? They're like, yeah. Like you missed a naked guy high on crack running in the shop and hiding under our desk. I'm like, yeah, I always missed the good stuff. You know? Like, I don't know. Just it's always attracted a little bit of the chaos, which I kind of enjoy sometimes. So yeah.
You ready for the chaos, Megan?
Yeah, you ready for the chaos?
You got tattooed a bunch, so you know about it a bit, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen anything too chaotic yet, just in my experience, even like in tattoo shops. It's more been, I've just seen a lot of like people getting their first tattoo and hearing how vocal they are.
Oh, they're not that bad.
Oh yeah, that's like those are appetizers. It's not even that's fun. You know,
that's fun. That's like business as usual. Yeah.
I remember we used to have they used to call it beer boarding at the shop that I used to own, and when we were doing our interview process, we had like a prolonged interview process, right? Like 2 or 3 interviews over guest spots, and through the course of this, you know, inevitably we're all going out drinking, and at the time, you know, we could have a real healthy drink on. And inevitably, what would happen, you know, some people, you know, they get their, you know, 3 or 4 drinks in, and all of a sudden, you know, the racist bullshit comes out, or the sexist bullshit comes out, or whatever bullshit that they were hiding comes out. And after like a couple of years of this, I was like, wait a minute, this is actually a relatively useful part of the interview process. Because otherwise, what happened is we'd hire people, and then like Bob Tyrell or you know, a heavy drink, or somebody would come out, and then the stakes would be high. And then the alcohol was on, and then all of a sudden we got this motherfucker flipping out on us. So it was much better to do it kind of ahead of time. And or if somebody was like, no, I don't want to drink, I'm not a drinker, I'd be like, okay, cool, you know, that's cool. We love that. So we don't have to do that. But on the other hand, if somebody was like, well, I don't really drink, but I will for peer pressure, that's also not the right personality, because even if we were cool with people not drinking, you know, inevitably tattooers, the urge to participate
just get stepped over.
but it's crazy. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, you're in for it. It's okay. It's good to ease your way in, I suppose. But you know, the tattoo world, well, definitely way more mainstream and modernized than it has been, does inherently attract a couple of bad actors.
Yes. Do you feel like, Gabe, I've been going through this weird thing, and I don't know if anyone else shares it, but I remember there being so much bad that now that it's like a new chapter, I almost feel like I'm like, really? I don't believe it. Like I know that it still exists, it's still happening, very much so, but I don't believe that it's healed like at all. And I'm still very diligent on that. Like I will teach Megan as part of her curriculum, like basically how to protect herself and like how to, like what signs to look for and like this whole other side to, okay, if you're going to come to a convention with me or anything, I'm going to make sure that you are completely safe the entire time. And I can't watch you 100% of the time. So I have to teach you what I know, as far as like, just not finding yourself in bad situations, because I feel like there's so many bright-eyed, trusting people coming into this career right now, and they don't realize that this was built off of like, felons.
Well, hey, look, I'm walking right now. I'm walking from my house to the bank, and I'm
nice.
going to walk past 2 tattoo shops full of people who mutinied on me and think fucking ill of me. And
oh dear, just
things
don't
that are
look at
untrue.
them. Just
So, I
moon
don't
them.
give a fuck. I mean, at this point, I don't care. Like, people are gonna believe what they want to believe. It doesn't. But I mean, it affects me because I'm in my time. But to your point, I'm literally walking probably 2 tattoo shops full of fucking ex-apprentices. Not full of excuse me. Both of them have ex-apprentices of the shop, and the other and tattooers that work for me that I hired, that I recruited. I spent a lot of time trying to cultivate, and I still don't really, I don't want to hold any ill feelings. When bombs are dropping, people react the way they do, and I could have stopped the bombs from dropping potentially, but maybe not, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say that you were pretty early on in all this, and without knowing what the process is, you did your best. Maybe.
So when I've watched other people, I think no one's kind of gone through this. Like, I was accused of doing shit that I just don't do. I don't believe in, right? So there was I've watched other people go through the shitstorm, and I'm like, yeah, fucking you say stupid shit like that, and of course you're gonna get the fucking shit end of the stick because you deserve it, right?
Well, like, look at Louis C.K., right? Like, he did what he did, and then he like apologized, but then he made his own special where he completely minimized his apology 100%. So it's like, well, there's no learning there. There's no growth there. Like we all have to shed the things that are weighing us down and are old so we can grow into new little podlets, I call it. But like, 100%. Look at all the people that you are trying to promote, the people that you are uplifting, after the fact. Like you wouldn't have, like, I don't even think you would have really met me if you were in the boat that you're in. And, like, you're giving opportunity to people who would not have opportunity. And I think that's 100%. Special.
I mean, yeah, we may have I knew Mark before, but to your point, I definitely didn't have the headspace. I was definitely hung up on my own trip. I mean, I was on my thing. I mean, the biggest difference is, obviously the biggest difference is no one accused me of actually doing, shit like that. Like I had people that worked for me that were creepy sometimes, for sure. And, I addressed it. Right. So like people can criticize me for like not canceling somebody, instead just saying, don't say stupid shit in my shop,
Yeah, because that's how we used to handle it. Right.
And, and sometimes, frankly, like fucking 12 years ago, people didn't necessarily do that, right? Like I'm not saying that I was super special or nothing, but like as a computer geek who thinks that everything should be 50-50 just fucking mathematically,
You know, that's kind of who I am. And so, but the point is, like, you know, I would have conversation. I would be often the first point of conversation with some people like this, right? Hey, you can't say fucking, I don't know, retard, or you can't say this or that, or whatever it is that,
Oh, you said it. You
isn't
said
acceptable.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
I said it in the context of
You
not
said
saying
it.
it, or
You
learning.
said it. I just
But,
think of the nights you say me, like, no, don't. Oops. Yeah, no, and it is. It's well, back then, those conversations just didn't happen. Abe, I can tell you that you didn't say things like my old boss said to me, you know, who were like tracking my you know, they were tracking my fucking periods and telling me if I ever got pregnant, I would be a liability and I couldn't work there. You know, like they would literally be like, hey, Renee, come with me, walk with me for a second, you know? And I would be like, okay. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is bad. But that was also normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm happy that the world's changing. Clearly, I'm happy that the world's changing. You know, as far as, you know, my situation, there were other things, you know, that I had not done through the course of the years that, well, here's the thing, I guess, in short, you know, I've watched other people do stupid things. They get themselves into shit that they deserve, you know, and then it costs them $100,000, you know, to get out of it, right, to keep their jobs. And when I look at that, and I'm like, well, would I have spent $100,000 to keep my position at my shop? No, fuck that. Like,
no.
And because I had not done my proper due diligence, I had hired people that people told me not to hire. I had, you know, I, for better or worse, I was tolerant to a fault, right? Like I wasn't tolerant of sexism, but like I was tolerant of crazy. You know, I mean, we're in the tattoo world, as you were saying.
Right,
earlier,
everyone's
you know,
crazy.
it's fucking nuts. And
right,
you know,
and
so,
yeah,
you know,
back then I feel like when people said something, they just saw it as like a crazy, like it was different thought pattern back then, and that's what I can say that's different. Is that now when you voice opinion about like, hey, don't hire that crazy, you know, you're like, well, I can take that, or I can give this person a chance and I can let them show me, right? We're from that generation of like, we'll let this person show me how they are, you know? And now, I mean, I get like, you know, our sister store, she'll send me an email if like she had a bad run with someone. So I know, so I don't get involved with that. And I mean, yeah, now we're at the point where I'm like, I'm going to take her fucking opinion, you know, like, where before it was much of a, oh yeah, we heard all these things, but you know, you don't know what's true, and you know, we're gonna sit here and dissect someone in their life, you know, that's obviously gone through some shit and some drama. You know, I just want a tattooer that's good, and if they work hard and do good things, then what the fuck? Who am I to deal with their personal problem, right? Like, I feel like that was kind of the mentality. Like when I first started, at least, you know, because like everyone at the shop was a terrible person except for me, you know. I mean, I might have been, who knows? I think we're all terrible people to at least one person. But I mean, I remember that being just how it was. Like, people would hear rumors or facts, you know, but they couldn't decipher, you know, what was real, what wasn't. And we were a little bit more, I don't know, compassionate in the ways of like, well, let's just see what they do, you know. I don't know, Megan, what have you heard about? Like, you're fresh, you're coming into this, and I've tried to like tell you stuff, but not really, because I mean, that's back to my point. Like, I don't really know what the hell is going on. Because I'm still stuck in this realm of like, you gotta be decisive, you gotta be defensive, but yet open, but yet cunning, and you have to be kind of like, you know, just don't put your guard down because you never know. And, you know, but like, what do you feel as a young lady coming into this industry about like people you might meet, or like, do you worry about it? Do you, I don't know.
I mean, the industry that I was in before I started, you know, trying to pursue tattooing was also incredibly male dominated and like very masculine driven in a way, because it was like a fitness industry. And so I felt like even during my time spent in that I had my, like, guys were either very respectful and kind of like, or they felt like they had to walk on eggshells, or they were just very in like aggressive about their opinions about women in their industry. And so I think in my experience, I'm not like as concerned about it because I'm sure it will happen at some point. I'm more just like aware of it. So I think I try to like diffuse the situation if it does come up.
Yes.
Yeah, like politely diffuse it without encouraging it.
I've learned the secret of just having really, really witty comebacks that just like make them feel like idiots.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the best scenario. No one's uncomfortable. You don't have to even raise your heart rate a single beat, and you put them in their place and you can continue doing your job, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like kind of make a joke that's like not a joke. That's kind of like, okay, we're done talking about this.
Yeah, we're done talking about this because I mean, ultimately that means like if they do fuck with your head, then they win, you know?
Yeah.
And I learned that really, like I learned that during my first South Florida show. And oh my God, I was like, wow, wow. I'm in a different land completely. Because someone came up to me that was like, there's a lot of bikers there and a lot of people were wearing their colors. And so you knew exactly what biker gang they were from. And, you know, it kind of like, oh, you want me to be scared of you. I get what's going on. Okay. They try to like pull their weight around a little bit. But, you know, they would just come up to my booth and be like, what are you doing here? You're a girl. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not resolving your fucking mommy issues, weirdo. And then like go back to work. And I don't know. It was you know, you just learn how to talk to those people. Like if you just make fun of them in front of their friends and their friends start laughing at them, they'll probably like, okay, all right, and walk away. You know, but I mean, I feel bad for the guys sometimes because it tries to go the other way around of any kind of intimidation, and there's more than likely going to be a physical brawl. You know, like we at least have the security of like, well, if it's in public, we are small and petite enough that if this guy actually starts hitting me, someone will come to my rescue. But if a bunch of dudes start fighting, no one helps. It's about those dudes, you know? So, I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm always for men coming in and verbally like helping out, you know, and not fighting. Like if we could just have no more violence, that'd be cool. I've seen enough violence to kill a horse, you know? And I think that's what I experienced is guys always like never knew what to do. And that's what they would say. They're like, what, do you want me to like kick his ass or something? I'm like, no, I want you to have a civil conversation with him, make him feel like an asshole so I can continue my day and know he's not going to bother me again. You know, because I mean, God, there was like a fight every single weekend. Like, our shop, it felt like we had a curse upon us. Like we couldn't go out drinking together because there's like maybe 7 of us. And because every single time, like a select few of the artists would always somehow get into a fight. And it was a bad fight. And I was like, can we just, I don't know, do anything without fighting? Like,
Is it Florida or?
Florida.
I guess it's everywhere, but it's not like.
Philly and Florida. Yeah, a lot of Philly, a lot of Florida, mostly Florida though, you know.
One of my favorite memories of this last the BYOB, it was a woman tattooer from Florida, younger in her career, and I don't know, you might have been at the table. So there's a couple of people at the table, and I remember specifically she was telling some stories, and Haley Adams was like, "Oh fuck no." And like, no, don't let that happen. And you know, the tattooer lady was like, really? I mean, I guess again, to your point, she didn't necessarily know any better. That was like all of the input and environmental conditions up until that point, you know, just pointed towards this is the way it is. And it was just amazing to, you know, again, because Haley's not that old. I mean, like I said, like 16 years in, right? Like, so not quite 20, but like not 10, you know, and right. It was amazing to watch that transfer of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And,
yeah, and I
it's
think
pretty
it's
satisfying for me to see happen.
regional. It's totally regional. Because like in Oklahoma, I've told some of my stories to tatters here and they're like, what the fuck? Like that would never happen here. And I was like, yeah, I believe that, you know, but in Florida, it definitely does.
Like wholesome Bible Belt kind of a place, you mean? Or,
yeah, I mean, I guess like it's pretty chill here. You know, we don't get a lot of like I don't think I've really seen many fights in general here in Oklahoma, like even going out or anything like that. Like people just want to chill. Where Florida, it's like, yeah, fighting is fun and they're drunk and they have nothing else to do. They want to like prove themselves somehow. Where I don't know, I think it's just definitely regional where everything's a little different. Because I've also talked to people about what I've experienced just in shops and they're like, what? Like I've been tattooing for 11 years and I've never had anything like that happen. But they've always had like a really supportive team where everyone was mentally healthy and like, you know, just like a really nice, rare little scenario. But I mean, you know, you and I have talked about, Gabe, like how many times I've just been like minding my own business and some crazy tattooer, like blacked out drunk, comes up to me from a convention that I'm like, oh yeah, you were my hero until you showed me that you're a raging, narcissistic, scary asshole. Great. Yeah, never meet your hero. Because like they have whatever it is they're dealing with inside of them, and they're away from their family, they're away from their support team, they're away from the people that check them. Yep. You know. Yep.
Oh, I do. Believe in me.
Oh, I know you do.
I mean, I run conventions, right? So part of it for me, although I do try to, you know, I do try my best to actually surround myself with people who actually care and give a shit. So like at Paradise, it's what has ended up happening is generally by the second day or the third day, there's a tattoo shop owner or somebody's coming up to me like, oh man, I really apologize about, you know, the way my coworker was behaving last night. Don't worry, we put them on a plane, they're going back home already. And so I'm like, okay, that's cool. What happened? Like, oh, he got drunk and puked in the fucking gutter. I'm like, oh, don't send me home if you find me puking in the gutter, okay?
Oh no, no, not at all.
But the point is, like, you know, I'm lucky that you know, I'm not attracting assholes like that. Although some people will be attracted to the effects of what's going on around here. I'm trying to be pretty clear that you know, I'm a whacked out progressive liberally New England computer programmer who believes in equality out of math, and that's right. Fact, you know.
Right. And it is kind of like the style of personalities that you put out there, and that's what you attract. Even actually, because you met Todd at the BYOB event, my brother that came down and partied with us for a little bit. Yeah, he was so enamored with just the people that he met and the vibe. And he was just like, this is what you've been doing? Because he's like, holy shit, like this is like, he loved it. He just felt like a kinship with it. He felt so like, because he was, you know, in Florida with me a lot and dealt with like, you know, the shittiness as well. And so he just didn't even know that existed for, you know, artists like us that are just a little bit chiller, a little bit like, we don't, yes, we are competitive. Yes, we are like professionals. Yes, we are striving to grow and striving to do these things in our careers and our lives, but we're not like stepping all over people to do so. I don't think, you know, you don't have to. Like, yeah, like, no, we need to help one another because we are good people. And like, maybe, you know, we're just part of a different universe that collided together and we found each other. So
like the dark side guys that I got into this with. I mean, part of it's ego driven, right? Like, so for me, it's like, you know, there are so many clients out there, like, and it's not a zero sum game. Like, if you're a badass, you're bringing new people into the mix. Like every person that you tattoo, you're giving such an awesome experience and such an awesome tattoo to, that they're coming back with their fucking friends and family. So like, if there's 2 people doing that or 5 people doing that, like if you're all doing awesome jobs and giving your clients great experiences, they're all coming back with their friends and family. It's not a scarcity mindset. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
If you're a tattooer and you're like panicked and hustling. You know, again, I mean, I'm also from the privileged point of view of, you know, being a computer geek who does nothing but like help people generate business off of what they do. But like, if you're not, like I said, mostly it's not a zero-sum game. You know, if you're awesome, you should be bringing new people into the tattoo world, and you know, not have to worry about all that crazy competition bullshit.
Right. And it's how you want to be remembered. It's how, like, what's your goal? You know, I think a lot I think about that all the time, and I talk about it in my planner seminar. Like, what's your goal? Like, what are we doing? Are you here for fame? Are you here for money? Are you here for chicks? Are you here for archival purposes? Are you here to help? Are you here? Like, why are you here? You know?
So Megan, Megan, why are you here?
Yeah, why are you here, Megan?
I am strictly here to learn how to be a great tattoo artist. Like, it has taken me a while to figure out this is what I wanted to do. And obviously I put it on a huge pedestal and kind of took myself out of that equation because I just always looked up to tattoo artists so much. And so all I want to do is just be happy. So I feel like tattooing is something I could see myself being really happy in, and I'd love to help other women feel like they can also be happy in it. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out a way to do that.
Oh,
What I propose, one of the things I have observed and repeat and teach is that tattooing is going to allow you to be exactly who you want to be. So if you want to be an asshole, you could be a raging asshole and still make $1,000 a day. Well, maybe $600 a day.
Oh, you can be the most biggest raging asshole you ever want to be, Megan, but just don't.
But you know, that's what ends up getting amplified, right? So the goal really is to make sure that, and it can also go the other way. Like, if you're the nicest person in the world, then that's going to get put to the test. Like, it's almost like whatever it is, because tattooing is going to allow you pretty much whatever it is that you could possibly imagine. It's going to also test whatever pieces part that is your weakness, you know. And so for me, it was like, I don't give a shit about lawyers or money, right? So I lost my multi-million-dollar business because I didn't give a shit about lawyers or money. Oh wait, I guess I have to fix that part of myself if I want to continue to receive the benefits of what tattooing can offer, right? With other people, it's sex or drugs or laziness or money, or, you know, and ultimately, challenge. And I'd love to hear that you want to be happy and help make women happy doing it, because if you amplify that, that's great. Let's do more of that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much like freedom to get to like travel and still work. And like, I don't know, that's always been super appealing. And I think it's just kind of like the perfect mix of all these things that I've been seeking out in my life.
Love that. Like, I don't know. It is such an interesting career, and for someone your age and the skill set that you have already, like, I think it's all about skill sets, and because I mean, it's a medium, but it's also like it's health oriented. We have to care about like the general public and their safety, you know, when we're doing it. So you can be an explorative artist, you can have all these ideas, but there's also this great sense of responsibility to keep yourself sharp, keep yourself on a whole different professional level. So yeah, if you're an asshole, you might notice that you're not getting clients. So you have to like change yourself to survive, right? It's all about survival too. And
yeah, you know what, but almost worse, like you could be an asshole and still make a living, right?
Oh, I know.
So some of the toughest lessons that I learned was that success masks weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
So I was killing it, you know, and someone would, you know, quit on me, right? And I'd have, you know, 3 to 5 artists that wanted that spot, right? So even if they had, if that artist had a legitimate, right, I might not even know or be aware of it because I filled the spot before they got there, you know. A client complains because a tattooer, you know, maybe the client complained and they had a legitimate complaint. You know, there's 5 other clients that'll fill that spot right then and there. So it's like so there's a natural force at work sometimes where if you have like a real good positive, you know, swell or energy behind you, you literally could be successful to the point where you're not seeing the communication issues that exist.
No, exactly.
And, for years, I was going through some of these processes, and again, it would basically be like I wasn't even aware that there was a problem because things were going so well.
Right. And I mean, your situations taught me a huge lesson. Multiple situations have taught me a huge lesson on opening the shop, because I knew things were changing. I knew things were, so the only thing I can really even do just to counter that is just to make sure that I leave the door open of communication of like, if something is going wrong, someone really, really needs to tell me,
Sure.
And I just hope that the people around me will have, again, like the strength to just like, tell me, to be transparent, to, tell me what they think, so no one's kind of just, assuming like, oh, she knows, she just doesn't care, or, oh, she has to know, obviously, and I just let them know, like, no, I'm tattooing full time. I have my projects that I do. Like, I'm still building out the studio. I swear to God, my studio is like the Winchester Mansion, and I'm going to have staircases going to the freaking roof soon.
Nice.
It's like, it just doesn't stop, Gabe. But it's, I'm yeah, it's going well. It's going so well that I have all these projects. So of course I'm not going to see, like, sometimes I don't see things that are right in front of my face, so I just keep bombarding my staff really with like, no, really, are you guys okay? Is everything okay? And ask them individually. And it's just keeping that communication is it's taxing. It really is, but it's becoming a fundamental for owning a business in general with employees or artists, or I don't know. It's just that's like the one difference is that we have to just actually be really, really high in communication, because a lot of us, like, we're bred to just stay quiet, didn't want to ruffle any feathers, and I'm trying to break that mold 100% with my staff. It's pretty cute when they like start realizing they're like, oh, you're a person and I can just talk to you. I'm like, yes, please. That's all I want. That's all I want you to do is talk to me, like as transparent, like as transparent as you can, So yeah, because when the ball drops, woof, it drops.
Yep. Oh, sure. Yeah. No, and communicate. Like, I don't know. Again, like, we all do our best, and
we all do our best.
Like, if you're going to be in business, I mean, the one of the very main, roles is, to your point, is just facilitating an environment where people can communicate honestly, and that includes having a team of people that can trust each other, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, that's why all those businesses do fucking stupid trust fall fucking field trips and shit like that. And but like, like it's hard. I say it so flippantly like that because in my heart I hate that shit, but like that is actually what helps people bond together, right? So like we've done trips like that where, I mean, even I had Baxter and Jeff, and we were over in Dublin, and Martin, the co-producer of the event that we were producing, he's like he facilitates, those kinds of bonding games with like, Facebook and Instagram and like corporations and stuff. I was like, hey, dude, why don't you do that for the tattoo people? Like, we're doing a tattoo event. You do tattoo events. Why don't you mix the two worlds? And he's like, tattooers are too cool for that. And I'm like, but we have to try. And
we have to try.
Sure enough, it was amazing. At the end of it was the Emerald Isle tattoo session. There was like 3 crews of tattooers that were roaming around Dublin doing their fucking scavenger hunts and making fools of themselves, and
I would love
and again,
that.
even like Baxter and Jeff are like, I hate this, I can't believe I'm fucking doing the wave with fucking 30 people, but they were doing the wave with 30 people. And
I thought Baxter would be into it for sure. Like,
oh no, he
promotes good.
No, I know person's into it.
He's so stoic. I know, and I'm like, no, of course he's into it.
Well, I do like that. You're gonna have a fun time with Nick in April. He is very like, like you could see when he cracks his fucking smile sometimes, where it's like, yeah, he is stoic, he is fucking over hyper intellectual about everything, and it's all in his head, and he's going around and he's catching all the points, and then you see it, like I said, then all of a sudden you see the crack in his and I haven't hung out with Nick, and I hung out with him, for like a weekend here and there. I haven't spent a lot of time with him in over a decade probably. But the point is, so I might be wrong with this, but from my imagination, I'm like, I see that little, the little smile, and I'm like,
Oh no, I know
he's
exactly what
self-aware.
you're talking about, Gabe, because I mean, okay, I felt a moment of joy and like somehow successful because I've made Nick laugh now twice.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it was one at the Tahoe convention, and I said something about one of his posters he had on his table about being like, oh my God, I haven't had one of these things since I was like a young 16-year-old punk rocker or something. And we talked about that. And then when it was his paint night with the oil and like the blue jar, I said, like, I called someone a twerp or something, and he was like, twerp. So yeah, he's definitely like, he does break. Anyone that has listened to Nick Baxter, he does, like, but he's just so analytical. He's so on point. His lexicon is so vast because he's so educated in such specific areas, that he breaks, he minimizes, he executes like descriptions with like the utmost, he tries to minimize it so it's almost masterful, so if someone doesn't have like the algorithm and the vocabulary, the lexicon to match his, like, yeah, I've had to explain to people like what he says, because I have it, but I'm way more playful, I think, with how I describe things, because I just hang out with, I love hanging out with kids and goofballs all the time. And my friends never had any arts education. So I was always kind of like, not dumbing myself down, but just speaking on a level so my friends could understand me, so yeah, like I think it's pretty amazing like the way his brain works. And I honestly am really, really stoked to just do some plein air with him and just see like where he's at with that, and just like pick his brain and, I don't know, nerd out a little bit, that just sounds like a good time to me. I'm glad.
I know. I canceled like 2 or 3 different plans to make sure that I did this thing in April.
Oh, I was gonna go to Prague. Yeah, and I was like, no. Yeah. I was gonna do a plein air walkabout, and I was like, well, fudge, like, okay, the world's still not weird. It's still weird. I can learn what I learned from Nick and Sean, and then next year I can go and be like, okay, now I'm doubly kick ass and I know what I'm doing. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, this is like, yeah.
That's funny, because when I was asking Sean, when I was asking those guys where else they wanted to go, I think Prague came up, so that might be.
I want to go to Prague so freaking bad. Well, I wanted to go there since high school.
Like, there's no way, like I said, I think I'm gonna cancel fucking Paradise this year. Like this year, next year, on the other hand, we might do inspiring tours Prague.
Next year, let's go next year. Oh, I've wanted to go since high school. Everyone wanted to go to Cancun, and I was like, can we please go to Prague?
Western or Eastern Europe's fucking beautiful. When I was in 1992, when I graduated high school, I flew over. Actually, before I graduated high school, I flew over to Germany, and then hitchhiked around Poland, Lithuania, down to Czechoslovakia, hit Prague, and this was like maybe a year, maybe 2 years after the Iron Curtain fell. So we were like some of the very first Americans that the people were seeing in Poland and shit. And
that's cool.
It was unbelievable. It was fan-fucking-tastic.
I bet you got a treatment,
the Berlin Wall, like we got to see, basically not it falling, but like, a year later we were there and it was still, being taken down and shit.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. That's a little bit of history. That's pretty cool. And you got to see it. Yeah. I feel like it's like I've just waited and waited and waited to go to that part of the world. Because I've been by myself doing so many things, and so like I've always traveled to places that spoke English. I didn't have any like, if I backpacked, I like backpacking. So I've always picked like the Polynesian, like New Zealand and Hawaii, and like I've always just picked a little bit, like, if you're going to be a girl doing it alone, if you're not going to get murdered, or what are my chances of getting murdered? So I just waited a little bit for that part of the world because I wanted to go, with a group, secure myself with like at least a couple people if I go
You should.
missing.
No joke. Have you heard Kate's story about getting kidnapped?
Yes.
Fuck.
Oh my gosh, and she's such a badass.
Yeah, and to think about being in that. I mean, I've been in some fucked up situations, and I'm a fucking white dude. Like, I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, man, no. That sounds
Technically been kidnapped by an Uber driver. And I had to I started reaching for his keys to pull out the ignition because he wasn't stopping the car. And then like it was bad. I was like, no, sir, you need to stop the car right now. Because he was crazy. He was losing his shit. So he didn't. And so, hey, that's a move, guys. Especially if they're unbuckled, but if they're not going and they're not going that fast, just lean into them, smash them into their own window and pull the keys out of the ignition. The car will stop. So I did that, and then so I jumped out and fucking called the cops and just like got out of there, and God knows what happened. So
it really is amazing that it is inconceivable, I think, and this is just a state like for like the dudes to be like even conceive of it again, because like I've done a hitchhike and I've put myself in some dangerous positions, but like it's not like an everyday constant kind of a threat that's looming over me. It's well,
I mean, that's what I always tell about the men folk that I know. I'm like, well, just like keep in mind that we've been scared for a really long time, so don't take it personal if a girl is like, fuck you, get away from me. Because we don't know. We really don't know. Like when we don't care, we're not going to give you the opportunity. I'm sorry, but we're not. If we're smart, we're just not. Because we can't take the chance. You might be a murderer. Right. And because that shit happens. And to us, it's not like we're just paranoid. It just happens in the grocery store. It happens at Home Depot. I carry mace now whenever I go to Lowe's. Because of just I had to go so many times that I'm like, okay, I'm playing the odds here. I'm playing the numbers. Like, when am I, like, I was physically patted on the head, and then some guy was like, would not stop standing like behind me for like a quarter of an inch. And I was just like, okay, so this is all right. Okay. And the only thing I did wrong in those scenarios is I thought that I had the same rights to be at that store as anyone else. So, you got to arm up a little bit. And that's why we're so on edge, it's because we actually just have to deal with this shit every day. And some of us are just like, fuck you, whatever. And then some girls are like, I'm sorry, I'm going to go hide in my room now. It's all different degrees of like what women have experienced. And like, I don't know, I'm vicious just because I grew up in Florida and Philly and tattooed a bunch of fucking bikers and learned how to talk like that, and not everybody knows how to do that. And
you shouldn't necessarily have to.
No, that's what, it's like,
reality.
It sucks that it has to be that way, but I mean, I'm glad that I have that training because that is reality. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks, sure, but I mean, I can go anywhere basically and like somewhat learn, like know how to defend myself and stand on my own 2 feet because I have like the best of both worlds. I have like, and I have like, God, like, I have to tell someone my New Zealand story eventually, but it was crazy. And I don't know how I didn't die, to be honest. I mean, I was told that I very well could have been murdered, and I was like, oh, cool. I'm glad that went well. But it's just,
us too are glad that it went well.
Oh yes, yeah, same. It went really well.
You were saying that Megan was world traveled and such.
Oh, well, her parents are Australian. Megan, you take on that. What's your experience in the world? Yeah.
I mean, my parents are a lot more well-traveled than I am. I'd love to travel more, which is also kind of part of the desire to tattoo, is to like make that happen as well. But I have been to Australia and the Netherlands, which is where my family is from. So my mom's family is like fifth or sixth generation Australian. And then my dad was born in The Hague outside of Amsterdam, but his family moved to Australia when he was 9. So they're all there now. But as like a kid, my dad lived in Libya and Turkey and Holland and then Australia. So he's traveled a bunch, and my uncle, my mom's sister's husband, is actually from New Zealand. So he's in Australia now, but my sister and my uncle, or not my sister, my mom's sister and my uncle met overseas in London, I think. So they're both pretty well traveled as well. So I got a lot of catching up to do.
Oh shit, we've got sorry, I didn't mean to I think you might have been done with your sentence. I just
I
looked
am.
at my phone and Ricardo's
She was. Oh, hey, Ricardo. Come on down.
Hello, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Thanks so much. Pretty good.
What are you
man. How about you?
painting?
I'm
Okay. What is?
I'm just playing around with some acrylics and gonna do like a like a Mardi Gras kind of mask.
Oh, nice.
Just yeah, play around with some of the
Different
hues and stuff like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You got all the. Oh, yeah. Megan, what medium are you using? I can't
I'm
see.
just using some watercolor, but I'm making it like super opaque at the moment.
Oh, okay, so basically wash.
Yeah, I know. I really should have just done that.
Nice. Using
Yeah,
oil,
thanks.
we got a nice little variety here. Very nice. I love variety.
Yeah, I thought about busting out the oils, but it takes so long to get started on it. You know what I mean? I really wanted to make some
Yeah.
tonight.
Oh man, I was telling Gabe, I was like, it's getting cold out. I want to do some oil painting so bad.
Yeah.
Because it does take so long, but it's cold. I'm not going anywhere. I can let this thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna fiddle. I've been working on this painting forever. So if I can just make some headway on it, I'm gonna feel great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like just little bits here and I've got like 5 oil paintings right now.
Good for you.
That if I just fucking finish one of them, I will feel so good. But they're all slowly getting finished, you know. Very, very slowly. Yep. But I don't actually might be doing my first non-in-house show that I've done in a really long time. I was talking about it this week with the Arts Council member here in Oklahoma City, and they're looking for some new blood. And so I was like, I don't know. I'm real shy with anyone that's like not in tattooing, you know. I mean, I do well, you know, like chambers of commerce and stuff. Like I'm like, I can mesh in with everyone, but I don't know. I've been such a shut in those last couple of years with the community that I was just kind of like, do you think they'll like me? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna get some octopus paintings finished off, and yeah, have a little show. That's not me putting it on or curating, which is nice. Someone else will do it.
Good for you.
So yeah, thanks. Thank you. It's been too long. It's been too long.
Oh shit, we got Kyle on too.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, good. Here. Oh, there you are. I was like, oh yeah, let's see what you're doing. Nice. What medium are you using?
Just acrylic. I started this guy earlier today, actually.
Oh, very cool. You've gotten far. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, that's looking good. Awesome.
So Kyle's an apprentice hopeful who I think that you've been putting up a piece of art like every day for like it seems like months.
I try to.
Yeah, you're killing it, man. Just saying.
Yeah, I agree completely. I was just about to say the same thing. It's motivating, Kyle. It's motivating, Kyle, to see you like putting that stuff up every day, man. It's awesome. Like, really
Thanks, because I don't, it's not always easy, but I do try my best too.
Yeah, no, it fuels us. So like, oh, we got to keep up, like he's doing it, we got to do it. Yeah.
Can't slack.
That's funny because I feel the exact same way. I'm like, oh, well, you guys are doing it, so I got to step it up too.
Well, see, that
It's a big contagion.
I'm going to do 15 jumping jacks right now. No, I'm not. I'm joking. No, Kyle, I think I have your pencil box in my car too. I think. Are you missing a pencil box for BYOB?
I don't believe so. No, maybe someone else.
Dang it. I have a mystery pencil box. I've been trying to locate whose it is. Okay. It's good. I'm like, oh, I'm going to use these pencils if I don't figure it out. But
It's
no, I
fine.
think, yeah. Okay, good. I'll just save it. I'll just bring it with me to Ohio.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who is
I
that?
I was telling Kyle earlier that unsolicited, was it two tattooers who were like over 15 years in. I and it's funny the way this works. So at least one of them was like, I heard that interview you did with Derb, and I'm like, I didn't do an interview with Derb. Kyle did the interview with Derb. Yeah, okay. And but there was a couple people that mentioned a specific. I think one might have been trying to get a gig over there at Red Tree, in part because of it, obviously because of Red Tree and history and all that. But it's fun. Anyways, actually, in Guy pinged at one point, it's like Kyle keeps up these interviews. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, Kyle, how are you liking the interviews? Like, how do you think of your questions? Like, where do you what angle do you come from when you're approaching these people?
So I guess the way that I approach it is because I don't, I don't know a whole lot of history myself, so I kind of just, I guess, ask the question that I would want to know or things that I'm curious about knowing. But it's nerve-wracking, especially because I've only done like 2, and I'm not the best on-camera person. So it's nerve-wracking to begin with. But once I get like halfway into it, I'm like warmed up, and I'm like, okay, yeah,
I got this.
Yeah.
Like,
Now that it's almost over, I got it.
I think that's the way it all works, man. You just answered the question to life right there. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Now that it's almost over, I understand everything.
I get it now.
Can I go back?
Best case scenario, we're 85 years old, and it's like, oh shit, I think for the last year of my life, I might get it.
Yeah. And the answer is 42.
Yeah. 42.
42.
Exactly.
Or just 4.
Just 4.
But to
No, I
circle
think-
back on that though.
That was a Hitchhiker's Guide reference. I think that might have gone right over your head.
No, that's why it was it 42 or just 4? I thought it was maybe
42.
a counter Hitchhiker's
Meaning
Guide.
life is 42.
Oh, dang it, I fucked it up. Okay.
Come on now.
I thought I was being clever. Okay.
I'm leaving. See you guys later. Bye.
Oh, bye.
No, I'm just joking.
Like you're still there. You're still there. I won't fuck up again, I promise.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a good Douglas Adams rules. Yeah, that was a good interview, Kyle. I enjoyed it, man, for sure.
Thank you.
Seemed pretty natural in there.
Yeah, my biggest thing is I just don't want to ask like super generic questions that you hear everywhere else.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, we appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, how long have you been tattooing? Well, okay. What got you into tattooing?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
What's the craziest tattoo?
What's the craziest tattoo you've
ever done?
Right.
Do you ever tattoo yourself?
I was doing a video series for a supply company, and one of the guys was like, "We should do like the craziest, tattoo story." I'm like, "No, I fucking hate that." And I was
no one likes
100% like off my rocker. I felt like an asshole because it's a completely perfect question to ask, right? But I'm like, I just kind of was like, no way, I can't do that. It's just not. It's difficult to who I am. I'm trying to like make tattooing be a more positive, better thing. I don't give a shit about the fucking crazy stories, and I know that this isn't actually my project. I'm actually working for your boss. And then like a week or two ago, we're looking at like the most popular fucking videos on Ink Mag. YouTube, and it's like fucking craziest story, 6 million views. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. We should probably do a fucking.
Yeah, you know what? I looked at their website when I was trying to do a little research on Derb, and I just see like the sexiest tattoo models, the sexiest above the badge tattoos. I'm like,
you know why?
Yeah.
Sex sells. That's why.
And you know what? They get the clicks.
They do.
Yep.
They do. I know it kills me. It doesn't kill me. I'm happy.
Yeah, but that's just that. Yeah, whatever.
Right. It's watered down clicks. Yeah,
exactly.
have the clicks. Those are watered down clicks.
You go ahead and
like
take those things, man.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no content
Take
to it.
those people. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just titties. I mean, shit. I mean, we all love titties. I mean, but
Yeah,
it's not
it's
content.
like the scrambled version of content.
Right.
The cable
now you
days,
put some kitties on that. Oh yeah. No.
Oh man. We got some winners. Yeah. Well.
That said, I think Meg ever wants to interview us, I'll be happy to go on. And,
Yeah. Either way, that's fucking.
I mean,
awesome.
well, okay. So that said, like I said, I have I'll have critiques about sexualizing content, of course, but they do also really know how to nail like just the video format too. So it's like a combination. It's like they got good video people, they got good writers. I mean, they're magazine companies, so like they have resources, and so that's where it's like it doesn't kill me, but it's like, oh man, like I'm never gonna be as pretty as them, but I know I could actually make videos that good if I had more time or resources, or if that's what I was focused on.
Yeah, more time, more resources.
More time and resources. But I do prefer the long form. I'm perfectly content and happy with what we're doing and the effect that it's producing.
No, I'm trying to get a hold of because I'm just feel like I'm struggling not being an old person, and forgetting how to like mesh with technology growing. And so video is where it's at like right now. And I'm trying to figure out, I actually talked to Megan about it today. I'm like, I'm going to have you help me video stuff while I'm tattooing because I'm doing this whole build out thing in the studio. And so many people tell me like, oh, you should videotape yourself building. Like, well, 100%. The first thing I don't think about when I'm building is setting up a camera and a tripod.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm making sure I don't put a hammer through my hand or, don't stuck my finger into the drywall.
That's
so
the curse of it all.
That's the curse of it all. Yeah. I'm like, I need a little buddy to just be like, oh, hey, I'm going to film you for a second. Like, okay, cool. Thanks. I'm sure there'll be a robot, in the future that would do that.
The apprentice is actually the appropriate person to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Pointing the camera at the interesting stuff that's happening and staying focused on it, even if, because, the video camera in the apprentice's hand is actually it's like that bonus, it's like ding 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 ding. Like the apprentice should be staring at the fucking tattoo, exactly what's happening, where it's going, and stay focused on it for 4 hours. Wait a minute, a camera person should be pointing the camera at the action that should be happening, for 4 hours without distraction.
You hear that, Megan?
I do. I'm listening.
Well, I had welcome to hell. Well, I had a very strange, misinterpretation of that from Apprentice once. And they thought that I wanted, I told them very specifically, I want this little area, please tattoo, the tattoo needle going in the skin. I wipe it, and show the tattoo. So I looked at the videos that they sent me at the end of the day, and they're all of me just tattooing, looking at my head, looking at my face. And I was like, what the actual fuck? Excuse me. Sorry, guys, for that bump. But I just missed the point completely. And I think, if you're not in it, you don't know what it is we're actually looking for, or just having some crazy assumptions of what we're looking for. But yeah, it's exactly what you're right. It's the view, it's the bird eyes view of what the apprentice should be looking at and focusing on and observing and seeing okay, this is cool. This is actually why we're here.
The Q&A, right? The apprentice is reading the fucking chat room. Oh, someone's asking a question about this. They're literally asking the question, so it's coming out of their mouth, it's getting imprinted on their brain, then they're hearing the answer.
exactly.
They're actually
Be the
asking them
moderator.
questions that they don't even know to ask.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you can't expect yourself to ever have all the questions ever, you know? Like it's always really good to go see what other people's questions are. That's actually what I did with the plein air. I was like, you know, because it was like really my first like formal seminar of that length. And so what I did was like I went on YouTube, I Googled, I looked up like what was available already and saw like what, you know, like what they addressed. And so I was like, well, what can I address that's different? And that really just like was the model for the whole thing.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's like taking what you have and just trying to think outside of the box.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, and that's it. I'm done.
It's always a hard thing to discover your own voice. You know what I mean? Like in the world where everything's crammed in our faces as it is to begin with. It's
Oh,
you know,
geez, yeah.
you know, and it's difficult to find your own voice. Like it's always, even as a, you know, I've been doing it for like 23 years, and like even then I'm still kind of like looking at other people's tattoos going, maybe I should tattoo like that. Not the way I try to. Maybe I should do it the way they do it. But then, you know, you can realize that you're not following your own path. You know, and it's important to study things and stuff like that. But it's also important to kind of, I don't know, like if we're talking about the idea of what's not necessarily popular, but what's getting some views and stuff like that, some traction, then that makes complete sense to kind of pay attention. You know what I mean? But don't take it directly. Like pay attention to it, what's going on, and then try to use your own voice in it. Like, what do you get into? You like Douglas Adams? Quote some Douglas Adams, man. Why not?
Yeah, it's almost like I wish I never looked or was never influenced by anything on social media. But then again, I'm like, I'll be influenced no matter what, be it book, social media, talking to people, whatever. But yeah, like sometimes I feel like my brain is too bombarded with quick little snaps of information that like I have to like purge myself a little bit. I really want to just like think my own original thoughts and trust that they're my own original thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll like step aside and be like, nope, I'm not looking at that shit for like, you know, a week or something. And I was actually talking about it with another artist friend. I know that I've been a little lagging on posting. I've had a couple people ask me if I'm still tattooing. I'm like, yes, every day. But I kind of feel like I keep up with my stories. I try to do that just because it's like my family watches stuff. You know, I've got cats that are attractive. People get to see. But I feel like it's like, I don't know, sometimes I look at my Instagram page, I'm like, wow, I really like my portfolio as it is presented right now. And I feel like that's like what Instagram and things like that's becoming, like without like, if we just have still photos of things, it's like, I just want it to be a portfolio that people can see, like that matches my website. And then if I make a video, then that's could be something completely different.
Right.
But like I haven't had the need to just be like show every step of the process, you know, of like this, hey, we did line work today. Yay. Hey, we did some blue today. Okay, cool. Hey, you know, that one spot, yeah, we need to go over it a little bit more again.
Right.
Like the bigger pieces are definitely changing my outlook on social media. And I'm like, I don't care what people like, you know, like this is just what I do. And I'm trying real hard to do it the best I can. So hope you like it. Have fun, you know. And plus I got hacked last year too. So I was just kind of like, oh, that was so stressful. Oh my God. I didn't want to talk about it. It was terrible.
Yikes.
But so many people are getting hacked. My old apprentice just got hacked too. And yeah, his site, he's got like, I forget how many, I think he's like got 20,000 followers or something. But all of a sudden it starts selling things. And I was like, oh shit, he got hacked, you know?
Bro, we gotta tell you something.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. Those sunglasses don't look good on you.
Yeah.
And even though you're my friend, I'm not gonna buy them.
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like them on you. I definitely don't like them on me, man. So,
Nope. That's all there is. He's like, no, that's not me. I'm like, yeah, sure. You said I should buy them because you're my friend. Oh, yeah, no, I think like, of course, if you're like building your Instagram, get on that stuff because people are using it. And also, what is it? The TikTok? Kids are using the TikTok.
I'm not. Have you been doing the TikTok?
I have a couple things on there. But ultimately I watch it again and I feel real awkward about myself. So
exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. I just kind of sporadically put things on that I think are have some entertaining value or some educational value to them. Because I just feel really awkward. Like I just don't want me on the camera, I just want, like, look at my hands and what they're doing. They're doing interesting things, but I don't know. I don't feel like I picked it up as fast as I would if I were a little bit younger with a little bit more time on my hands.
I know the exact same feeling because I've actually talked to my son about it. Like, you want to manage one for me or something or what?
Oh my gosh, yes.
He's like, I don't know what you want me to do in there. No. He's like, I'm just gonna go play video games. Like, all right, cool, whatever.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
I put a roof over your head. No.
Least you can do is manage all my Instagrams.
I know,
right? You could at least manage my social media.
I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking you to personify me on the digital age. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Well, oh my gosh, I had a client. This is going to make you guys laugh because it made me laugh openly. It wasn't my client, it was one of my employees' clients who messaged me saying that, she messaged him on social media, she messaged him on his email, she hasn't heard from him in like 3 days. What the hell, And I explained to her, like, no, he's been really busy. His books have been closed. So he's planning on, he is going through his emails, just give him a little bit more time. Like, he has an automated message that says so please look up. And she said the words, well, I know he has a wife and I understand that she has her own business, but can't she help him?
Oh man.
I couldn't help it. And that's where I'm like, oh, I'm the worst boss of the year. Because I just audibly laughed. And I was like, no, she can't. Nor would she. Need you or should she? Like, ma'am, this is not a Wendy's. And it's like, we're doing what we can. If anyone's not a tatter and want to know what's going on with tatters not messaging you back, we are so busy. And I know I maybe you guys can agree with me on this, and I know it's changed a little bit, but my apprenticeship did not include client correspondence.
I agree with you.
Like we're trying our hardest here to just keep good communication, but for new people, like for me, I have to take the message of the current client first before I talk to the new person, because they're getting touchy. They might have something really important, like, oh, I'm having a bad heel, or oh, I need to reschedule, or I have a general question, and I'm going to cover those before I get to someone that I can't even get to from a year from now, or from a month from now, or it is what it is. And, we all had a big boom once we all opened up from COVID again. And it's like, I've had to describe this so many times the last couple of months to people, nicely. And I always like try my best to make sure everyone's heard and everyone's like organized the way they should be. But like, we were just trying our best, like everyone managed their own clients here. So like, just give it a second. It'll be okay. I promise.
And not only that, but all the other behind the scenes stuff that goes on, you know what I mean? Like learning how to manage taxes, or like, that's just the business end of the things. That's just the business end of the things.
Yeah,
and then you go into
that's just the business.
Remind me of that, Ricardo.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I hate it. And I hate the business end of things. And then you get the whole thing with like, you're doing your homework. You know what I mean? Like you're drawing for other people too. And it takes time, and then you have one client where you give them a date and they said it doesn't work. So you give them 2 more dates and then they go back to the original date to begin this. And you're like, oh man, dude, you guys are
all of a sudden you're 15 emails in and you've gone nowhere.
Exactly. And I'm definitely not complaining by any means. And I don't think you are either, Renee, but you're just being realistic with people. And this is just the stuff that happens,
yeah, no, I can't complain. It's a good problem to have, but it's still a
Exactly.
problem. And that's how I see
Yeah.
it. Like we have to deal with it and we're trying our best, you know? So I just say like everyone that's listening and hearing this, like, please just know we're trying our best.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, we don't think we're cool. We don't think we're cooler than school. You know, we're just it takes us some time because we care. And we're really, you know, making sure that everyone's actually responded to, that there's nothing generic going on, and that we're like, yeah, we're just trying our best. But don't worry, Megan, you'll learn all that stuff.
It's gonna be so much fun.
It will.
It'll be so much fun. Emails are so much fun. They're so much fun. I mean, I've made it kind of easy for us with the form and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you doing the form where people kind of go to a website and they can type in? Okay, you are.
Yeah, the open cells.
Yeah.
Dude, yes.
Do you have a template that you work with, or what is it that you're doing?
I have one built. Yeah, I had mine custom built with it was kind of like part of a package when I got my website made.
Okay.
But there's also a thing called Jot forms, and that's where you can custom make your own.
I'm working with that.
Oh, okay. Do you like it?
I'm kind of stuck right now. You know what I mean? I'm getting to that point where it's like, how do I get some of the things in there to get photos in and stuff like that? You know, like.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm looking around for it though.
Yeah, I had mine custom built because I had the same thing. I was like, I want references to be able to, like, so many references to be uploaded, because people were sending me pages of references. I'm like, man, I just need 5, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I will say that in my email, you know, that I used to have, like, just send me 5, don't send me any more. But yeah, like, here's 57. So I made the form so you can only upload a certain amount. And, you know, if the artist wants to see more, then they can request. But generally, you know, we're good with like minimal, you know, reference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it costs like a little bit, but it's worth it because like they can't not fill it out. Like they can't even submit it if it's like blank fields, you know?
Yes.
And I'm excited. Okay, can I talk about line work?
That's exactly what I was going to bring up too. Oh my God.
Oh, okay. Yay!
I love it. Have you used it?
I haven't yet. I'm having a little issue because I use Booked In for my booking. So it doesn't. Yeah, I can't just like dump my calendar in there. So I'm just trying to figure out how to like ease my clients into it and not totally like get myself all confused. So I'm just doing really gradually. And I mean, I just got back to, they've been really cool with me. I've been at least telling them about the user friendliness aspects of it a lot and pretty much what I want out of it. And they've been really cool about it. So if they can actually do like all the things I told them, because I told them a lot.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, number 1, let's do this. So they do it. I'm so excited for it. I'm more excited about the payment plan options that they're working on. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we've been talking about quite a bit, is the payment option things.
That's going to be a game changer.
Dude, the whole thing is awesome, because that's what I was telling them too, is that like, you know, it's pretty crazy that in this day and age, one of the things that we get offered from a lot of those kind of programs or apps is that it's mostly it's also mostly made for like salons or something like that, like hair places or nail places. So it doesn't necessarily cater to what we want to do with it, you know, like as far as our booking, keeping track of clientele and stuff like that. Man, this thing is amazing, and they've nailed it, and they've made it so easy. It's like, it's dummy proof. You know what I mean? Like if I can run it, then anybody can run it. I promise you. Because I'm Googling everything. How do I turn on my laptop today? You know what I mean? On my phone.
How do I know? Well, and that's what I like, is that they are actually like talking to us. You know, they're like really taking our input and like directly like, okay, let's do that. And I mean, whenever I give input, you know me, I always explain why, because I'm long-winded as all hell. But they're listening, and I'm like, okay, thanks guys, you know.
You know, they have like custom programmers So like,
Yeah.
obviously we're all getting blasted with, the 15 different types of, booking softwares for tattooers, that have pictures of tattooed people on the ads.
Yes.
But for the most part, those are all they're like white labels, right? So there's like, to your point, Ricardo, there's like a salon software that you could change the logos, change some colors, and now it's, a tattoo software.
Oh,
Whereas
right.
With what line work is doing is, the guy's, for one, it's owned by a guy that owns a tattoo shop, right? I mean, but also
He's so
he's
nice.
got
They're
the
so
eyes
cool.
of real programmers. So it's not like going to, active campaign, or it's not like going to like this big software company and be like, hey, could you change the way deposits work because we're tattooers and do things a little differently than most people? It's like going to, well, for one, they have a lot of that stuff already in consideration because the guy's a shop owner. But that's what, to your point, they're like literally trying to implement all of the, the little nuances of tattooing so that tattooers have custom software, for them. And it's pretty cool. And I mean, I've worked with them for a little bit, so I mean, I'm not like completely dug in with them, but to your point, Renee, they are listening and they have been implementing stuff. So it's pretty fucking amazing if they clinch it, they're gonna clinch it, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I'm pretty like anal retentive and abstract thinking and like a bit much, right? Like we can all agree on that. But I mean, I gave them the perspective of like my entire career. So, okay, like the one thing if anyone else is, like is curious about what we're talking about, a lot of the software that's even like, we're like, oh, Tattoo Smart, and it's kind of like geared for like not all kinds of tattooers, like not all range of tattooers.
Yes.
So I made sure that I spoke about like the walk-in shop, the custom blah, blah, like all the different variances of different kinds of tattooing and tattooers and tattoo shops, that I was like, it would be really cool if you could implement it this way and be altered this way to form to that person. And then this, and they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. So they really are making, like, for me, like I have time blocks, and I have these very simplified ways about scheduling. And so they're figuring out a way to make it more for my like all day sessions and all that fun stuff. And then I can also manage as being the shop manager, I can also have that on like all one thing, just everything put together as a shop owner, manager, and artist. I can just go and use that program and not have like 50,000 programs that I usually use every day, So I like the fact that they're like simplifying everything for me.
Yeah.
Because
not only that, but they also made it to where you can, like, if you travel, you can open it up on any laptop, or like soon it'll be on your phone and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Like you can take it with you, and it's awesome to be able to manage a schedule in the same way that you're used to, the same capacity, take payments the same way that you're used to doing it at home, and then still be able to, like, as far as a busy shop or like multiple artists, be able to observe what's happening at the shop and what's going on. You know what I mean? It's pretty awesome. They nailed it. They definitely nailed it.
They nailed it.
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah, it makes me feel better because I know I'll start traveling for this year next, and like just knowing that like I can watch what's going on. Like, oh, that's awesome. Like financially watch what's going on besides like just straight bank deposits and figuring it out. Yeah, like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, I really love, like right now, oh my God, I have so many different devices, and it's like literally going to just take all those devices, put it in one, like I have a POS system, I have like my scheduling system, I have my automated emails, I have my, like there's just so much crap to manage. So yeah, I'm making it easier. Sure, let's do it.
Right.
Let's go for it.
I'll take it. I'll take
it. Yeah, I'll take two. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree anymore, Renee. It's pretty awesome program that they got going on. So.
Oh, I know, I love it, and they're super nice. So I like that. As soon as I heard, like, I'm like, oh, Norway. Oh, hold on. I'm like, hey guys, give me 1 second. And I like went and got I have 2 Norwegian forest cats. And So like, hey, do these guys look familiar to you? They're like, yeah, those are cats. I'm like, well, here they're wild.
Yeah.
And they were so sweet about it. They're like, oh my gosh, yeah, look at this. I don't know. Now it's just a big joke. And I'm like, you could do this, and you can hang out with the cats. I'm like, oh, thanks, of course.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're super sweet. I think it's good. It's good to be listened to, especially like I feel like I don't know, like the fact that like to get a payment plan, that means that they actually have to like make an agreement with a creditor. Like, and I feel like companies have not really like took tattooers seriously as a business, and that's why we haven't been able to do these things. You know, like I know that in some states it's like weird that like to insure just a tattooer, not like just a shop, but just a solo tattooer, like people be like, why? You know, and I feel like it's pretty amazing that now we're even have the credibility where we can actually do these things. Because can you imagine if we have payment plans, like we will always get paid. If something crazy comes up in your client's life, they can still afford their tattoo. They don't have to cancel because they'll have like a low monthly payment.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Oh my God. I'm like,
he told me about that and I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, you mean my people don't have to sweat it when they're like, yes, I want a full color back piece. And you're like, okay, are you ready? Yeah, I am like so beyond excited about that because that's how I just got LASIK, you know, last year, and that's how they did me. Like I didn't have that kind of money to put down, but they're like, oh cool, I'm gonna pay literally like I don't know, like $100 a month for a bit, and I'm like, I have new eyes. It's amazing, you know. So I mean, that was a cosmetic, and well, I mean, for me, it was needed, you know, but it's considered cosmetic. There's no way insurance is going to handle that. So yeah, the fact that we can like now do that with our tattoos, especially large scale, like, oh my gosh, such a game changer.
Yeah, it's like a credit card for tattooing.
Yeah, and I know, actually, wasn't Jesse Smith talking about that during his seminar at the BOIB events?
I'm not sure. I didn't get to go to that one.
Oh, okay. Gabe, is Jesse a part of the line work thing?
Jesse is not part of the line work. No.
Oh, okay. He might want to be.
He might want to be. I think he's on. I talked to him a little bit about it. Like if somebody's like dug into some software.
Oh yeah.
You know, as you know, like the more you kind of dug in, the harder it is to move. But it's weird because like people aren't necessarily happy with what they have, but it's difficult to move. So
yeah, like I'm taking forever to move just because it's hard. It's like, oh my gosh, like mine is not perfect, but I want to. Yeah, I mean, I need like a little.
I'm definitely like trying to identify the people that haven't quite like the best first round of people for them are tattooers that are like on Google Calendar, but like know they need something more but don't have it yet.
Yes.
Or you know, maybe on paper, but like even if they're on paper, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If you want to use it, but you're on paper. You don't need to improve upon it clearly. But if you're in Google and you're using some computer stuff, to your point, like this will help wrap up like 2 or 3 or 4 different computer things into one. And like so you know the tattooers that are using Google, it's like, hey, you already know what you need to do, and you kind of already know how to do it. Now here's the appropriate tool to fucking kick ass with it. And it'll suck in like all the iCal and all the Google Calendar appointments. So it does that really well. But if somebody's already in another platform, then again, it's still useful. I still would potentially recommend it, but it's and it's just a little bit more difficult. Like if you have 3 years or 5 years of financial data inside of a platform.
Yeah, no, I don't have that yet. Thank God.
Yeah, that's good.
Mine is just a scheduling. Yeah. Oof.
I'm also like some of the software that I'm using for the CRM, like as I get into my stuff more, part of me is very aware of not being able to move. Like I said, like a lot of these software platforms, especially as they get more complex, now it's not even just like a customer, like as we were saying, it's like not just customer data, it's customer data and history over the last 4 to 6 years, and that's not something that any platform's gonna like export that some other platform can import, So
No,
in some ways, the next moves that we're all making for our software, we just got to be aware of that. It's not the more complicated these things get, the harder it is to just pick up and move.
Yeah.
And I know this because I'm moving Reinventing right now.
Like, crap! Oh my.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, everyone's going to get an email to update their password and head over to the new classrooms URL instead of the course.
Okay.
And then we're done with moves.
Oh, okay, good. I'm like, no more moves.
Yeah, we better
Staying
be.
here for as long as we, for at least 3 to 5 years. There's always better fucking places to go and greener pastures. But it is a good move. We're consolidating the mobile app and the learning platform kind of into one, so that there's no disconnect. And we also have a new the iPad app is native for Reinventing now. So instead of like just doubling the pixels and kind of being a hack, it's actually designed for the iPad so that everything is nice and big,
nice.
which is awesome. Obviously, for the Reinventing material, it should be nice and big.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that just all sounds complicated as all hell.
I sat in front of the computer today thinking I should send the email out to everybody now. There's nothing stopping us. We should just make the move and do it. And then I did not click that button. I'm like, I'm scared.
But
I was
what
gonna
if
say,
it
you told me
doesn't
earlier
go?
you were sending it.
I'm about to
Don't
send
be
5,000
scared.
people an email that says to reset their password. I know 50 of them are going to ask me what the fuck is going on. So I'm going to do that tomorrow morning when I have Tuesday to deal with it.
Oh man, the life and the joy of it all.
Oh God, I know. Sometimes I'm like, is technology making our lives easier? Really? Yeah, I guess. I just like, yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
The answer is
problem,
yes and no.
Yes.
There you go.
Well,
Kyle with the voice of reason. It depends.
Yeah. It depends. Oh, genius. Words of wisdom.
You could almost answer every question with that.
It depends. Well, it's fucking smart. Yeah, it depends. It's not wrong.
They didn't teach me critical thinking in school for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
They actually taught you in school? Holy shit, LA is way different than I thought.
It was starting to get phased in as I was like halfway through schooling.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So you went to school in LA? Really? I guess so.
Like elementary school, not like college.
Cool. Did you are you not at the point where you would be going to college? I mean, obviously you're at the point where you might be going to college. Was it like you just skipped college, you hit high school and they're done? Or?
Yeah, well, I did like 2 years of community college and realized it wasn't for me, and tried to find what was for me instead.
Perfect.
Kyle, how long have you been trying to be a tatter now?
About 2 years now.
Okay.
But yeah, like 2 years ago, I just tried. I was like, yeah, I like got some stuff off Amazon to just try it out, and I was like, yeah, I actually really enjoy this, and I've always done art, so I was like, I guess this is it then. And just never slowed down since.
Good. Keep it up. Keep on learning.
Trying to.
He's got guys giving him critiques for like 15, 20 minutes a week. It's that's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna get so much fucking hate on that shit. Like, there's this tattoo. I mean,
oh, I bet.
Of the 3 tattooers watching the stream, still 2 of them are like, "Why the fuck does that kid get guy ages and critiquing him once a week?"
And, every week I go and I'm like, yeah, I did a good job on it. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, no, it's terrible.
You know what, man, like guy, like you could not have a more compassionate, patient, mentor for all intents and purposes. I mean, he's not your like, tattooing mentor, but clearly he's also mentoring you in how to, navigate these waters. And well, like I said, and I said it to you before, but it's pretty much for better or worse, if you fuck this up, it's all on you. You literally have got ages and fucking guidance.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
disappoint us, because we're all like, you jerk.
Well, I realized that really fast. I was like, because I only learned about him and his work like 2 years ago when I started doing all this. So I'm like, this is a very unique situation to be in, where everyone idolizes him and would pay anything for a moment of his time. And here I am once a week getting a little lesson on how to improve.
It's awesome, dude. Good for you, man. That's killer.
Hashtag blessed.
A good time Charlie, you were interviewing Good Time Charlie, and all of a sudden I'm like just listening in, and Good Time Charlie's like, so how about you? How are you doing? Well, I wish you the best, young man. I'm like, oh my God, holy shit, he doesn't have little apprenticeship yet, and fucking Good Time Charlie's wishing him the best. Because you got yourself into that position. And you didn't fucking shy away from it. You didn't act like an asshole. You didn't get too drunk. Obviously, you're doing a lot of things to make it happen. But on the other hand, again, it's just you're in a very unique, magical position where it seems like all the ingredients are there. It's just a matter of patience and percolating.
Yeah.
Yeah. The turtle wins the race on that one. And enjoy the race, because you've got a cool one. You got one with good views. Most of us got like the shit storm and the shit end of the stick and the shit. And some of us had to rush. Some of us had to rush through it, and then now we're backtracking. So they start feeling like it's just taking forever. Just realize that it always takes forever. Which is some of us have just like different. We just have different processes of going through it. So like you might learn something faster than I learned, but you didn't know how to apply it until like year, 3, where, I applied immediately. So it really is it's all over the board, like you will learn everything if you just keep it up, you just learn things at different rates of people. So that's what I thought it was a mantra that I always kept in me when I started traveling, and I was just super intimidated because I was like, I don't know anything. But like I would be like, if someone were like, you're being stupid, that's not how you do that. I was like, well, can you show me? Since that would be cool. And I would just like, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I wouldn't, feel stupid, even though I knew I was doing something stupid. But I was just like, oh, cool, you learned that when, and I would just find out like what their career was like. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm like, well, I learned these things. Do you want to know that? And yeah, it's like, oh, it turned out we both didn't know something. So it's all about helping each other out again. So you're definitely going about it the right way.
Yeah, I've definitely learned that patience a lot more recently, because for a while it was like every year my goal was like, yeah, I'm going to get an apprenticeship and get started. And it's like at the end of the year, it wouldn't happen. And I'm like, well, I'm still on the path. But now it's like, okay, it's not going to happen for a while, but the path I am taking is definitely the right path to be taking.
Actually, Megan and Kyle, you guys should like get a hold of each other now and help each other out, because if you don't think that if you meet another apprentice, we'll never see them again, that's totally inaccurate. You will. And it's really helpful to have people around you at the same level, of learning, especially when you're new. I mean, shit, I am still like best friends with half the people that were apprenticing while I was apprenticing. And we've always helped each other along, because at least we know like what each other's circumstances like. So you guys should connect.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Megan, by the way.
Kyle, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's up, Megan?
Hi.
I'm Ricardo.
Hi, I'm Renee's apprentice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Very fortunate.
Yeah, because I'm picky. No, man, I'm like, I kind of like, I don't know, for some reason, like 5 years ago, I wanted to like, I was saying some weird stuff like, I want to apprentice again. Like, probably not really, but I mean, maybe, just kind of go through it again and see how different it is.
Get the perspective back from like the ground up, right? Yeah. Yeah, I feel that way a lot. Like, especially being around, with the Reinventing crew, it's been, I've been able to experience that from that point of view without having to go through all of it again. You know what I mean? Like putting yourself out there, learning a little bit more about yourself and stuff like that, listening to these people ask you questions, being able to explain it even without realizing that, oh my God, I just said it like fairly thoroughly. And like, I think they get it. I've learned these new terms and everything, like it's pretty cool to have that. And I think that's worth its weight in gold all on its own, to be able to say it to people that are like hungry for it and stuff, if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, teaching like anything kind of like solidifies like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, I always like learn something new when I figure out how to teach something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, like having Megan around is like awesome. Having, just an apprentice around is awesome. Because if they have a question, I have to figure out how to answer it so they can understand. Meaning, I really have to understand. So, I mean, I would catch myself like, why does that happen?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let me get back to you on that. And then I'll like find out a way to word it, and go, oh, okay, here you go. I live in analogies, basically.
My favorite is whenever you try to explain something, you go, well, it's kind of like this, but it isn't like this at all. But it's pretty much, this is the way to do it. But you can do it your own way after a while, but this is what I want you to do right now.
Yeah. Just go, the Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, just do it. And you'll figure it out later.
Yeah, exactly. It'll come, I promise you. Just keep doing it. And then
just keep doing it. I think that is like ultimately how I teach tattooing, because there's so many like tiny, finite little things that they'll get, but they and they'll get with like circumstances. Like I always like bring about circumstances or like like steps. Yeah. Like, okay, we're gonna have you do this for the first month, and then after that, you're gonna figure out why we had you do that for a month, and then like. It all comes out in the wash, they figure it out after a while. But I mean, my apprenticeship wasn't like that. It was all like, life is hard, fucking deal with it. You're like,
the machine's not running right. Turn it up, man. Turn it up,
man. Fucking figure it out. You're like, I don't know what this is. What?
Yeah, my machine is sputtering and it's spitting ink everywhere. What the heck is going on?
You know what my guy did? Oh my God. This was nightmare inducing fuel. Ozzy he loved testing me by like burdening me, like seeing me sweat. So every single day he would have me set up his setup, but like he would like make something wrong so nothing worked. To like test me, like loosen a screw or like you just do something. So one day he couldn't, like, I remember I was really getting a hang of it and I was really feeling proud of myself and confident. And like, I could not get anything to work. Like everything was running. All the machines were set up nice. Like there was no weird needles scraping against any tubes. There was nothing wrong. But then he was like, no, keep looking. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And he was like, Renee, you literally have 20 minutes before my apprentice shows up. You better fucking figure it out. And I was like, I have. And I like was figuring it out for like an hour and a half. Easy. So then he like laughed like 10 minutes before his appointment showed up, opened up his power supply, and he resoldered something that he done soldered.
Oh man, dude.
What the hell?
What the fuck? But he was like, never underestimate technology. And I was like, okay. He was like, you should have hooked it up to another power supply to see if this one was bad. I was like, Okay, I see that now. Thank you. And yeah, I like still today at a convention or something, if something isn't working and I can't figure it out, I'm like, all right, I have a backup and I'm going to dissect this thing when I get home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. But oh man, yeah, his teaching style was brutal, but I kind of loved it. I don't know. It was like militant.
There's something about it, you know what I mean? There's definitely something about that atmosphere. It's pressure, but it makes you think on your feet and stuff like that. And like in a street shop, it definitely helps out quite a bit. Because and coil machines, forget about it. Because it's like you're running your machine, everything's so awesome for that little tiny kanji tattoo you just did. You know what I mean? And then the next one you do, it's like, what the hell is happening with my machine? Like it doesn't like me at all. Yeah. But being able to figure it out, though, you know.
Well, he knew that I was like entering some fast-paced shit, and he wanted me to be like, yeah, no stress, like show no stress, figure it out.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why we gotta teach the youngins all the little steps.
Teach them real good.
Gotta teach them real good.
Teach them.
I know the other graduated apprentice we had that called me in the morning, and you know, of course, like we have like I feel like the internet is my secret foe, because we're in downtown, so sometimes it just goes out for no reason. Like old lines that never like keep reinstalling the lines so they actually are fixed forever, you know. And so we've been great for a really long time until like we had like a cold snap and our internet went out first thing in the morning. And so our graduated apprentice called me. She was like, help. And I just imagine her like sitting around like with her iPad, you know, just like, I'm sad, I don't know what to do. And so I was like, no worries. I learned this at a convention that didn't have Wi-Fi. Boost up your saturation or your contrast all the way in your light drawing on your iPad. Turn up your brightness all the way on your iPad. Put that shit down on top of the computer and hit print. She was like, oh. Like, and yeah, like there's like little tricks like that you'll find out. You just keep your cool, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes those conventions, you know, they're truists and they don't want to have Wi-Fi. Yeah. They're like, screw you guys, you know, drawings. This is Flash, you know, you're truists. You're like, okay.
I guess so.
Oh gosh. Well, that's the Star of Texas show. That's Marcy's show. She refuses, but she like says like, well, it's a traditional artist kind of show. Like that's what she really promotes it as, and I like her show a lot. And she's seen me do that, like flip my iPad around, and she's like, oh, that's good thinking on your toes. I'm like, you gotta do what you gotta do. But she also does like freehand stuff at her show, so she's like, oh, okay, you don't really need it. No, not really, but it'd be nice. Because you know, the world, Wi-Fi.
There's this thing called the universe, and we're in it, and it uses Wi-Fi.
It's happening, you know. Just saying, I'm using a lot of data on my phone here. It'd be nice if we had some Wi-Fi. Okay, just saying, you know, your booster expensive. Wi-Fi.
just in case you're wondering, it's right there.
It's right there.
I admit it. Jiminy Peak, the first couple of years, didn't have cellular service. If I could, you know, if I could slip them $200 and be like, shut that shit off for the weekend, I absolutely would.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, think of the peace that we would all have.
Now you have cell service, sir.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like as a convention promoter, when I left the very first year, you know, when I was driving back home on whatever Tuesday morning. And all of a sudden, when I got cell phone service, my phone fucking lit up like a fucking Christmas tree, and it was like message. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
And I was listening to all the messages from like Monday, like the previous Monday and Tuesday. So by Tuesday, everybody had my phone didn't get service anymore because I was up there on the mountain, and I was like, that's amazing. Everyone fixed their problems.
Yeah.
They didn't need me. Like they couldn't get a hold of me, but like somehow it still happened. We can live without phones. Well,
What?
this was 10 years ago. I don't know about now.
What? Yeah. Oh man, I just got an Apple Watch because my brother convinced me during Christmas. And I've already like stopped wearing it. I've only had it for like a week. And I was like, this is great. So I forgot it, whatever. I'm like, it just keeps buzzing on my hand and I don't know why. I mean, I got it, like my brother was like, yeah, you can check your heart rate to see if you're having a panic attack again. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But now I'm like, I'm fine.
You know, I use mine for, it saves my hands a little bit. Like if I could do like even 20% or 30% of my texting over my phone, over my watch instead of the phone, then it,
Oh yeah.
like I said, it helps the wrist just a little bit. Like,
I like the walkie-talkie feature.
exactly, yeah, that works.
Really nerding out about that. Like, I feel like Dick Tracy. That's the technology that I've actually been waiting for since I was a little girl. So I'm like, oh, it's here. I gotta enjoy it a little bit.
So, you know Jesse Baxter, Typex or Rice Pack? Yeah, they told me that to go see it. Okay, cool. I'm actually closer now than class. Oh, you were also I was on the Zoom. I was just hoping to see when I could come. Yeah,
Let me check out everybody's arts that they're making. Oh, nice. Megan, that's pretty. It's not your flash work, but it'll do.
Thanks.
You need to loosen up anyways after today. Today was hard work.
Yeah.
Megan is learning all kinds of things, especially since there's been some oopsie with the build out of the business. And she's been helping me do all kinds of crazy things that when you have your own floors one day, you need to hack them up with a hammer.
appreciate it.
yeah, you know, that is the main thing with hearing an apprentice complain about something. I'm not like anything. It's like, you know, not for nothing, but you know who's gonna do that shit if the apprentice isn't? You. So like, if you're an apprentice, someday you will be a tattooer, and you will have to do that shit. Unless you get an apprentice.
Unless you get an apprentice, but then you're just like you're not even instructing the apprentice how to do it. You're just like, hey, you apprentice, figure this out. And like, yeah, and that's actually how I figured out how to do stuff because that's what my guys did to me. They didn't tell me anything, and they're just like, hey, figure this out. And I'm like, okay, they used to call me college. Like, hey, college, figure this out.
Nice.
And I was like, just because I'm in college doesn't mean, oh, okay, fine, yes, I'll figure it out. Fine. It is. But yeah, that's like part of the learning for me. I'm like, okay, you have me, right? You will literally learn everything that I can possibly teach you. And I just been, you know, self-functioning for so long. I'm going to try to teach you everything I know.
Have you ever had any apprentices stab you in the back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's really difficult to like want to continue to teach people after you get fucked a couple times like that.
Hey,
I mean,
one of them. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like, dude, one of them almost married my ex-fiance.
Oh shit.
Yeah, which was, I mean, not on her. I still kind of like her, of course. You know, it's weird for him because he was dating the younger version of me. Whoa, gross. But oh yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I just kind of see it as like, I don't know. It's like dating, right? Like if it doesn't work, it just doesn't fucking work. And yeah, like our paths, you know, met at a certain point, and then they separated, and they're like, hey, I gotta go over here, and you're like, cool, bye. I'll see you later, I guess, at the end of the path eventually. So I don't know. I try to keep like a cool head about all of that. Like I don't even see it as like betrayal. I just see it as like, no, I don't know. They're figuring it out, and I got to figure it out without them. And so we all got to figure it out.
Yeah, no doubt. I guess for me, it's a matter of trying to figure out appropriate use of energy, right? Like it's a very trying to have put so much effort and energy into people to you know, and it is on both parties to make sure that it's square, right? So like, you know, the mentor and the apprentice should always figure out, you know, if shit ended right now, like the apprentice had contributed enough so that the mentor is like, oh, whatever, you contributed enough, it sucks, but fucking adios amigo or amiga. And the apprentice should be like, well, this sucks, but like at least I learned some things, you know, if it has to end.
Yeah, but I mean, that stuff comes with time. That's a maturity thing, though, and that comes with time. Like, I think, always speaking personally, like being a young kid at one point, and you know, being mad and angry, and just like I don't know, I can look back and say, wow, that guy was a dick. Like he was one of my best teachers I've ever had. You know, like. I can do that. And I want to think that most people do that. Like we might be unappreciative at the moment. You know, it's almost like when a family member dies and you're like, wow, I actually really do miss them. But it kind of takes that step, you know, for someone to have a karmic result. And I do believe in karma 100%. So I just kind of wait for the universe to mirror whatever happens. And it usually does, you know,
well, that
like,
is true. Absolutely.
Yeah, like I just have to wait. Like I'm patient as all hell, and I just kind of wait, you know, and I kind of just like cure in, like everything okay? Like oh shit, that happened. Okay. Well, cool. I didn't have to say anything, and the problem resolved itself. Nice. But I think they'll. Yeah, I think if you've influenced anyone, Gabe, well, even if they don't realize it, I think they will. Eventually, they'll realize it. And maybe they'll come back around in the weird, distant future, you know?
Weird, like all the old FMAP apprentices, like I actively, you know, tried. I mean, obviously I was doing the actual tattooing mentoring, but like I created the environment and helped them set up with, you know, tattooer teachers, and you know, they it's amazing because they actually all, I think at this point, say, you know, stupid bad things about me, but it's like I still care, like because of because some of the facts that they're basing their opinion on me are not actually accurate or true. It's like even if they think it's true and they say bad things, I'm still like, well, you know, I still wish you the best. Good luck, go kill it.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, I'm not gonna fucking give you another inch. Like the fact that, like, you know, you're done. Like, I mean, I guess that's ultimately what it breaks down to is like, you know, as soon as you stop appreciating the people that are sharing with you, then they're not going to continue to share with you, right? And so, you know, from my perspective, it's like, well, it's fine. I don't need to work with anybody that doesn't want to work with me. No harm, no foul. But on the other hand, like I was saying, I walked by 2 tattoo shops with apprentices that fucking stabbed me in the back. So I'm like, not that cool. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Quit walking past those places.
You know what? The fact is, sorry, just to wrap that up, the last apprentice or 2 that came out of Off the Map, they were like full-on illustrators, like fucking serious, fucking badasses. So you know, I don't regret it. Some of them I don't regret at all, putting my energy in or helping set up. But yeah, some of the other ones I probably should have been more discriminating. Or not.
Yeah, or not. You just don't have to give them your energy, you know, still like just have to release. And that's like, I guess, I don't know, I've been trying to figure out this whole like, you know, forgiveness, you know, you're like, you know, you just gotta forgive, man. And that term used to piss me off all the time because I'm an Aries or Floridian, I don't know. And I was like, what are you talking about? Hell no, that's crazy. I'll never forget. But then I realized it's like, oh no, it's really just like forgetting the act in my own heart, and like to the point where I can step away and not give any emotion or energy or feeling towards the issue because it doesn't help to fester. It's just like literally a term not to fester because it will fester. Yeah. And we can't let it happen.
I agree with you completely. I agree with you completely, Renee. That's awesome that you say it like that because it's not about like that term leap of faith used to always bug me too. You know what I mean?
Fuck leap of faith.
It's just a term. You know what I mean? And it actually means like so much more to yourself than it does what that idea of that term means. You know what I mean? And then it's about you, like you said, that the idea of forgiveness isn't necessarily for the other person. It's more for you, so you can kind of just go like, you know, feel free and walk away from it and learn from it.
Mhm.
I agree
Yeah,
with you
and
completely.
it's taken a lot of time because I mean I have been fucked over and a lot. I'm like all of us have, you know, and I've tried my best to just resolve it the best I can. I've even left. Like, man, leaving Florida was actually just to leave a terrible scenario. And I was like in my industry and my life, everything. And I was just like, you know what? I don't know what to do, but this place over here seems cool. But then I still moved on with the same residual festering of like not figuring out, not knowing how to like soothe myself and how to heal myself until I've just like really sat down and meditated on the idea of like, well, what would I do to feel like I won here, you know? And then I realized winning is me just living my best goddamn life.
Yeah, not
And
using them as fuel to do it, right? Like using it for
exactly. Yeah, like it is no winning and losing. When you die, you're not gonna fucking care about that person or those people or anything. You're gonna think of like hopefully think of the good things when you die of like, wow, that was really cool that I did that. And I don't know, one of my best friends really helped me out because part of that was also realizing what your benefits are, Dave, like, and us, you know, like, who are you? And that is your leg to stand on, because I was really upset at some people really criticizing me and saying a bunch of shit that was insane to discredit me. And my friend was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you climbed Mount Mortar for fuck's sake. These people suck. And I was like, oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's true. Okay.
No, but that's the thing that
So-
sucks, like getting torn down and getting fucked up by people who suck and aren't even that smart.
Yeah.
Like that hurts my pride. I'm like, man, those motherfuckers aren't even that smart. Like,
But
but on
your
the other hand,
pride
it's
is
nature.
better than right. And that's it.
Exactly.
You gotta understand your pride to be like, oh, well, they're just being, you just said it yourself. Like, they're not that smart.
Oh, and
They
I
don't know
watch
what's
Game of
going on.
Thrones. You know,
Uh-huh.
I know that life isn't fair. I watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And you see what festering does and revenge and all that fun stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't add to it. Like getting away from the scenario and making your own life better, then that, I mean, that's your, it's like, I don't know, like you share a bubble with someone and as soon as like something bad happens, it's like I just like to get my bubble away from their bubble. And then I can make my bubble what I want it to be again. Yeah, because that's like really what matters. It's just like leaving, and it takes a long time. I'll tell you that. It does take a really long time to heal yourself. Depends on how traumatic it is, right? So you can't
I mean, I'm
rush
still
that
not even
shit.
fixed. I'm still fucked up. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm still trying to
exactly.
get my shit together. Almost 4 years, 3.5 years.
Yeah. I think it took me.
But I thank everybody. You know,
Nine,
if you know, the Reinventing community, and you know, the people that didn't buy into the bullshit, like are the reason why I actually am still here, not doing something else.
I wonder if this will work. Like, I think of it like, I don't know. So I know you're doing all you can to like fix yourself and move on. But maybe every single time you start like thinking about it and your brain starts going towards that, put a $1 in a jar.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then like, yeah, and then put like some messages of power words on that jar so you can just remind yourself to snap out of it. But like punish yourself like in a beneficial way. You know? So like, and maybe you'll have enough money to take a fucking vacation.
Yeah, it's a little.
You can try.
That would be awesome. I'm down. I gotta pick up my last 1,000 buckaroos for a couple of weeks ago. But no, the thing is, all of the lessons, if you choose to, are only as valuable as you want them to be. And like, and again, not everyone would survive a full-on tear down. But on the other hand, like I definitely learned that like what doesn't kill you doesn't necessarily make you stronger, right? It could just like hurt you and maim you so that you fucking limp for the rest of your life. And then on the other hand, without a positive attitude or a learning mindset, you're never going to get through it. And again, just to be clear for anybody that's watching a fucking replay, if there anybody is like one of the things, like I know who I am, I know what I did, and I know what I do, and so it wasn't easy, but it was definitely very clear. It's like, well, wait, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, then the bullshit will pass, because like I'm not a misogynist, and if what I need to do is learn how not to be, that's okay. I could do that. I'll do that right now with everybody publicly, right? Like, because that's not what's going on here. That's all bullshit. And so like,
no, and time will pass. You know, like we're new people every 5 years. Think about that too. You know, so give yourself a chance to be a new person. You know.
Oh yeah. Well, and like I said, well, kind of the weird part is, it's like, well, I do need to be a new person. I mean, like I said, it's just like the lessons that were learned weren't like those. But like, like I said, I don't need to like learn how to be better than what I was accused of, because what they were accusing me of was not true. What I need to be better on is being lenient of the conditions that I allowed to happen to set up that situation. Right. So I do need to grow. I'm not saying I don't need to grow. I'm not saying I didn't fuck up a lot of things, clearly, and a lot of people got hurt because of the mistakes that I made. But just also to be clear for anybody listening, those lessons are, specific, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean,
I'm done with this. I'll talk to my psychiatrist about the rest of it.
I know, I'm like, oh, I can't help it, Dave. I'm already going there with you. I mean, people used to like, hardcore penance. Like Christians used to like slap themselves with fucking like paddle boards and shit, Like, sometimes like, I don't know. I've gone backpacking because I was severely upset, and that was like actually backpacking through the winter. Like, what was that? I was trying to like make myself so freaking miserable that I couldn't be miserable about my life. Yeah. Like it shocked me out of this. Yeah. And it shocked me. It was like, and I almost like went off a cliff at one point because there was a little like slide. And I was like, oh my God, I could literally just die right here. Like, what's most important to me right now? The bullshit that's going back home? No. Even though it has affected me and you, it affects all of us, like anything like that dramatic. Gabe, we're glad that you didn't put a bullet in your head, man. To be honest. Like a weaker person would.
No, absolutely, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. So hey, friend, glad you did.
On that note, glad we didn't. And
sorry,
we do have
it's
13 minutes to 9, which is so guys exercise. So probably now, for the sake of the show, would be a good time to, closing remarks possibly.
I'll start. Thanks everyone for watching. We really do talk about everything on these things, and I kind of love it because we never get to talk to one another about these kind of things. So if you ever want to join in on our group talk while we just sit and paint and relax from the month. And things are going. I didn't do any birds tonight. It's getting cold, so I'm doing my oils. I think for at least the winter months. And yeah, thanks everybody for coming. This is fun.
Great.
Okay, who's next?
I can go next.
Yeah. Okay, you go next.
My name is Ricardo Sturdivant. Thanks for having me, Renee. It's always fun to join. I missed the last one, but I was hell bent on making this one tonight, so I'm glad that I jumped in. You guys talked about a lot of fun stuff. It's always fun to be around you and watch you paint and hear your discussions on what it is that gets you going and what inspires you and stuff. And thanks for having me.
Oh, cool. Always fun. It's rad. Okay, Megan, you go.
This is my first time doing this, and I am having a blast. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Now that you're my apprentice, you gotta have every single one.
Yeah. I'm also Renee's apprentice, which thank you, Renee, for that opportunity. It is truly a privilege, and I hope to do more of these in the future.
Cool. All right, Kyle.
I'm Kyle Bernstein, and it's always great to sit in and listen and just hear what other people have to say on the topics. And yeah, it's, thanks for doing this and leaving it open for everyone to join in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everyone, bring a friend. I love hearing everyone's point of view. And the more knowledge that we give each other, the smarter and more powerful and woke we will be, right? So yeah, thanks everybody. If anybody is curious, we do this every last Monday of the month at 6 p.m. Central Time. So in Oklahoma, that's 5 p.m. You can see my works on the tattoo on YouTube and Tattoo Now. My website is wolfanggallery.com, and that's where you can see a lot of my tattoo work and some of my painting works and my crew that I have here. We're all leaning towards fine art, and yeah, during COVID, and winter months, paint nights can really get you through. You know, we're not alone. We have each other. We can't get together personally, but at least we can do this, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, hope everyone can come out for next time.
Cool. Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll we'll catch up before a month from now, but we'll definitely catch up.
Yeah. I will see you very, very soon.
Oh shit, in like a week and a half. Yeah, right. February 5th and 6th.
5th and 6th. Yep, I'll be tattooing and doing some panels, and David will be there.
Yeah, the recruiting. There's going to be a recruiting panel. So so like you, I think Jesse Smith, a couple other tattoo shop owners will be, well, for one, discussing what makes great candidates for artists to be attractive for awesome tattoo shops. I think, well, I guess I have to get it together. But if we get a couple of people, I'm going to try to do the Shark Tank style interview madness.
Oh,
so
yes.
a couple tattooers could get like grilled by like 3 or 4 tattoo shop owners at the same time. I love putting people under pressure.
Oh, I want to hear Nick grill somebody.
I don't think Nick is well, he doesn't he's not, he won't be on that panel.
Oh, okay. Well,
I agree that it would be nice to hear him grill somebody, but yeah, you know, I guess he's I don't know what the arrangement is at that shop, but like he's not like the shop owner, like looking to recruit people for better or worse. But it would be fun to have him do some I wonder if he would
just open portfolio critiques or something. Oh, I don't know.
Well, so Nick is beaming in too, so he's not he's not the other person.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I think we're getting some pings. I think that we do need to move on because in 8 minutes now is the other episode. So cool. We'll catch up very soon, everybody. Cheers.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Later next time. Bye.